And salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. Spank your mama and call her Sally. It's Monday.
That's my mom's name.
Congratulations of opening up a brand new week, and it's good that you guys are joining us here today. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good stuff. And joining us, launching this brand new week, writer, director, producer, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing?
John, I'm doing well. It was a restful weekend. I caught up with Light and Magic, the Lucasfilm.
I'm 2 episodes into it. So good.
It's so good and candid, and the footage they have is surprisingly amazing because I've never seen it before.
How did you dig up all that footage? Like, that is crazy.
Crazy.
Also, joining us, voice performer, teacher, and instructor, if you want to learn the art, Chris Carr is here. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I had a live demo session this weekend that was so good. I freaking love doing that stuff, so I'm all jazzed for the week now.
Well, it's good to have you here. And of course, oh, by the way, it's somebody's birthday. Yay! Ray Ora joining you guys in the live chat, and it's his birthday today, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I'm still making him work. Just screw that guy. But yes, Ray is here. Ray, how you doing?
Oh, good. I had a funny story to tell, but I'll save it for another time.
All right. And sitting beside Ray, it's not his birthday, but we are equally glad that he's here. Producer running the show, Jonathan Boyko.
I'm just holding on to all of my funny stories and never going to share them on camera.
Saving them all up. And guys, it is good to have you here joining us today. Here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break it up into 2 parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. And in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you want to get a live comment or question right on the show, number 1, you got to be watching live. Number 2, once we get to the end of the main topics, we'll announce that we're opening up the super chats. And when we do, that is your cue to start firing in your thoughts, opinions, theories, questions, whatever, and we will read those off in the second half of the show. Also want to do a little bit of housekeeping here. In case you guys didn't know, if you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube video, the good news is we've got a podcast feed. It's simply called the John Campea Show Podcast. Just go to your favorite podcasting app of choice, search for it, and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it. Also, by the way, we have a secondary podcast feed just dedicated to Mailbag, so subscribe to both of those podcasts today. All right, guys. With that all down, let's kick things off here with a couple of off the tops. And the first one is a sad one, and it is this. Clearly, obviously, when you talk about any of the cast of the original Star Trek television series, you're going to use the word iconic about any of them, whether it's obviously good Canadian kid William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, but also Nichelle Nichols, who played Uhura, who was one half of one of the most socially important milestones in American media at the time, when on Star Trek they had the first interracial kiss between Captain Kirk and Uhura, and it was the first time it had ever happened. And I can already hear, if that was first aired today, the screams of woke from certain corners of YouTube would have hyper blasted across the internet. But seriously though, like, it was one of the most important things to happen, especially in American media at the time. Her character was fantastic when we got into the movies. I mean, obviously she was one of the ones that had to come back as well. She's been a great ambassador in the following years. Now, obviously, whenever we've seen her, we could tell her health has been failing a lot over the years, but she passes away. Now, Rob, as you know, our resident Star Trek guy, I mean, your thoughts on the passing of Nichelle Nichols and the importance and her ultimate legacy when it comes to television and media.
Well, you know, she was the first woman I ever loved, to be honest. To me, I thought she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. And of course, she was on the bridge crew of the Enterprise. She was my dream girl growing up. And there's an episode in the second season called Mirror, Mirror, when she's in the mirror universe and she has her exposed midriff. And I'm like, that's the sexiest thing I've ever seen in my life. When she threatens Mirror Sulu, you know, it's so great. So I mean, look at her. She one of the most beautiful women ever on television. And I actually had an opportunity. I worked on a project with her a little bit, a movie called Lady Magdalene's that unfortunately is not good. although she was wonderful, and I got to know her a little bit personally. Obviously, you know, she went to work as an ambassador for NASA in the 70s.
That's right, yeah.
And I think that there's that story that Martin Luther King told her that she didn't want to stay on Star Trek. She didn't have a whole lot to do.
Right.
And so Martin Luther King, whether it was true or not, apocryphal or not, it's a great story. He said, listen, what this says to the world is that there are black people in the future and they matter. Whoopi Goldberg has said the same thing. When she was a little girl, she saw someone that looked like her on the bridge crew of the Enterprise, which meant that, we're coming right out of the civil rights movement of the 60s. You had the assassination of Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy. So it was a very tumultuous time. And for someone like Nichelle Nichols to be part of the command crew, so ultimately, if she needed to, she could have been in command of the Enterprise. She was part of that crew. And to have somebody like that, it made a big statement at the time. And she was, her poise, her grace, her elegance. And even in the 70s, like, you got to watch. She's in a movie that stars Isaac Hayes called Truck Turner, where she basically plays a pimp, a madam. And she kills it. I mean, she's awesome. You can actually see. I was watching this clip on YouTube yesterday. I mean, she was actually a great actress that could play a number of different parts. It's just when you get stuck in sort of this iconic role. But she's had a lot of other roles where she was actually very, very good. But she lived a good, full life. And I'll tell you something. As far as an ambassador for Star Trek, everyone who ever came across her at conventions or ever met her loved her. And she had done so many things, so much charity work, so much outreach. She was truly a delightful human being. And she had a sparkle. A friend of mine, Darren Scott, who they made Tales from the Hood. And she came back and she was in one of the sequels. And he had her call me on the phone when they were shooting. And he had the best time with her. And she will be missed. But she led a great life, and she will definitely be missed, and she was iconic, and I'm just happy that I was able to meet her a few times. And, the fact that not only was she the first woman I ever loved as a child, what can I say? And I really loved her. Like, I was convinced I was going to grow up and marry her. It was that kind of a thing. Her green hoop or big earrings. Man, I love those earrings. That didn't happen, unfortunately. I mean, maybe she was a little old for me, but rest in peace. Godspeed, Nichelle Nichols.
Chris, when you look back on, the legacy she leaves behind, what's going to stand out to you?
I mean, mostly what stands out is her work with NASA, because I worked for the Space Center in Houston, and she was so important for selecting NASA Astronaut Group 8 back in the 1970s. Like Rob was saying, Dr. Mae Jemison cites her role on Star Trek as being the thing that pushed her to going, I can be an astronaut. And that's why she was the first Black female astronaut. Whoopi Goldberg cites her as, I could see myself in a genre that I usually don't see myself in. She's one of the people that made me realize I can be an actor. I can be anything. So just that visibility she provided for so many people. And to get women so excited about being in STEM, to get minorities so excited about being in STEM, I think is so huge. And I think that's the really cool thing about storytelling, is that even if you're telling stories that seem fantastical, there is something so important about seeing yourself in them that just transcends storylines and genres and everything.
Guys, the question is for you. When you look back on the, iconic role that she has played of Nichelle Nichols, what do you think about? What stands out to you the most? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's do another off the top, and that is this: Sticking in Space.
Bruh.
There's a new Star Wars movie coming. The Star Wars. Inside joke around the officer.
Galaxy.
There is a new Star Wars show coming out called Andor, and it has looked real good. I've been fascinated about this ever since they announced it at D23. It's like the idea of looking at the dirty side of the rebellion. Like, anytime you're going to have a military rebellion, sorry.
Dirty.
Wow,
The
chicken bombs on the dirty side,
That's the next show on Disney
That's
Plus.
the next show on Disney Plus. Now that they're taking R-rated content. No, that looks at the side that's got to get their hands dirty. We always talked about that. Like, for the rebellion we've seen in Star Wars up to now has been the clean version, right? Like, they're just the rope. But if you're going to have a rebellion, you need people who are going to get their hands dirty. There's an underbelly to it. And the idea of seeing a show like that has always intrigued me. So I've been intrigued with it ever since they announced it. Then they started putting out these trailers. It's like, this looks straight up cinematic. Like, I love Mandalorian. Love it. Absolutely love it. it's not always the most cinematic looking thing. Book of Boba Fett, where a complete war of 10 people on one side and 12 people on, I mean, the Vespa gang. I mean, it's just so cinematically, even Obi-Wan. I mean, it didn't have the most cinematic look, but everything about Andor's looks cinematic. And with D23 coming up, which, I'm convinced they're going to drop major bombs at. I thought at D23, we're going to get another look at Andor, but they dropped a new trailer for it today.
Dude.
And I feel very comfortable in saying it's the best one yet. Like that Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones trailers to drop for those shows. It does not look like television. Like, as great as Mandalorian is, it kind of does look like television. This does not look like television. It's bringing war back to Star Wars. It just, every part of it, look, and Skarsgård in this, my heavens, that shot of the lady just looking up and seeing a Star Destroyer in the atmosphere flying overhead, and it's finally giving us a sense of what did those symbols instill in people? The fear, the dread of F, the Empire's here. The oppression that symbol being in the sky, what that actually meant. I'm starting to feel that, This show looks incredible. This new trailer is the best of the bunch so far. Rob, you had a chance to check out this trailer this morning. What did you think of the new trailer to Andor?
Oh, I watched it like 3 times back to back. I mean, to me, John, there's two different kinds of Star Wars. There's the Star Wars that is an extension of you playing with your action figures. And I would call Book of Boba Fett that, maybe The Mandalorian that. And then there's the sort of more erudite upscale Star Wars that I prefer, like Empire Strikes Back, I would call that. And the original Star Wars is a combination of the two. And so what I've wanted to see is and Rogue One was definitely that. It
Yes.
was more serious. And I've always wanted to see a deeper examination as to what actually is going on in the Star Wars universe. This was like catnip. If I could stick my tongue on the screen and lick this trailer up, man, did I loved this trailer. I loved everything about it. Like you said, it's cinematic. It looks incredible. The mise en scène, everything that you see. First of all, wow, they're on location, in Europe, in the mountains, shooting cool stuff. I'm like, it's like the same way they went to Iceland for the beginning of Rogue One. That's what Star Wars used to do. Is they would, even with Jedi, they would go to the trees in Northern California. They go to the desert in Arizona. They went to a glacier in Norway for Empire. I've missed that, and that was a staple of Star Wars. Man, this starts out with that vista of 2 people coming up over the hill and mountains in the background. I'm like, oh yeah, we're off to the races. And I looked at this and I'm like, I'm all in. This is what I wanted to see. Even there's Star Wars vehicles. There's one, there's a platform or something landing. There's one thing in the foreground. This thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? I want that. I want that model. I don't even know what it is. And I'm like, show me stuff that I haven't seen before. And the Stellan Skarsgård, you bring in a veteran actor who's some kind of war leader. He's talking to Saw Gerrera. I'm like, man, I'm so in. I'm more excited about this than I've been about Star Wars in 5 years.
I feel safe in saying that this was the best Star Wars trailer since the Rogue One trailer.
Dude.
Now, again, listen, we are talking about a trailer. Don't misunderstand. We're not getting half. We totally understand that this show may suck. Yeah, it might. We are just talking about the trailer. But as a trailer, I think this is the best Star Wars related trailer since Rogue One. Anyway, Chris, you had a chance to see this trailer. What did you think?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I know it's been a point of contention that I do not love Rogue One. This upsets all the people in this room and all of you fine people on the internet, particularly this guy next to me. But it's one of those movies that I like talking to people about more than I enjoyed watching it, right? Where I felt the execution wasn't as strong as the things that everyone likes to delve into, right? That said, this trailer, my buddy Brandon and I were messaging this morning and we were like, do we care about this so much now? Yes, we do. Everything about this looks epic. There is so much scale here, right? It feels like it's such an intergalactic story. It feels like a dirty, gritty rebellion. And the cast is magnificent. I mean, Diego Luna is one of the most incredible actors we have. So I'm so happy to have him really get to like dig his teeth into something with this character too and have more to play with. Fiona Shaw's in this, Aunt Petunia for all of you Harry Potter fans out there, playing his adoptive mother. And yeah, Skarsgård looks killer in this. He seems like such a badass.
I love it. We see 2 haircuts.
I know.
And you know when he gets his hair cut back,
Yeah.
stuff's
That's-
going
Nothing
down
tells you
now.
time shifting than that. And by the way, Mon Mothma. So they don't know what I'm really doing. And what are you really doing? Like, come on,
Dude.
It's like, this is great stuff.
But you know what was so great about this, John? All this stuff, it's all the lines of dialogue.
Yeah, the dialogue
It was,
is great.
I mean, show me Star Destroyers, that's great. But I want to see Game of Thrones level intrigue. And that's what this trailer, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be like
That's
that.
what the trailer promises, though.
Yeah, and we've got such sophisticated genre programming, and I've wanted a level. Rogue One was not perfect. I would love it if it was a half an hour longer and we got to meet all the characters before they were on the streets of Jeddah, where you could see. But that said, there was still a seriousness to it that I like in Star Wars.
There's
And
high
this-
stakes. There's
Yes.
incredibly high stakes, and that's what we
Yes.
lack constantly, I feel, in Star Wars.
Well, I
Yes.
mean, yeah, again, we know this is just a trailer, but again, for what it does, by the way, the first time I watched it, it goes by so fast. I thought for sure Maz Kanata was in this. I mean, yeah, there you go. That case. So this, when it's a still frame, you can clearly see it's some old man. But the first time I'm watching the trailer on a smaller screen, they just zip by so fast. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but what are they doing? That's some creepy ass.
They're performing surgery. It's a four-armed. That doctor is a four-armed being. It looks like he's performing surgery on Andor at the time. But yeah, that's a hell of a needle for anybody who's got fear of needles. There's that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What did you think of the new Andor trailer? I personally think it's the best Star Wars related trailer we've had since the Rogue One trailer, which was fantastic. Hopefully the show lives up to it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But whatever you guys think about the trailer, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. Before we get into our main topics here today, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of Trouble in Paradise. There's a flip phone, a disappearance, and a suspiciously timed hurricane. The Resort, a new Peacock original from the creators of Palm Springs and Mr. Robot, is an unexpected exploration of how love, marriage, and family can be a real trip. When a couple finds an old flip phone in the jungle on an anniversary getaway, they are unknowingly pulled into an unsolved mystery, a bizarre case that went cold 15 years prior when a once-in-a-century storm wiped away all the evidence. This journey through the Mayan Riviera will take you from the edge of your seat to the depths of human experience and back again. Starring William Jackson Harper, Kristen Milioti, Luis Gerardo Mendez, and Nick Offerman, The Resort is streaming now only on Peacock. And thank you to our friends at Peacock and their new series, The Resort, for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys. With that down, let's get into our main topics. And how do we select our main topics here on the show? Well, that's easy. You guys come up with them. We need your help to program the show. See, whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
This first one comes from Clark, Washington. This past weekend saw a mixed bag of results at the box office. Super Pets opened lower than the 25 to 30 million analysts had pegged it for. Its opening is even worse than the Emoji Movie, which opened in the same space 5 years ago. On the flip side, Box Office Mojo reported that for the first time since December of 2019, that the total films released in a single month, in this case July, grossed $1 billion domestically. What are your thoughts on these box office numbers?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And you know, we've been talking a lot recently with things like Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Top Gun, things like that, that the box office, contrary to popular belief, where everybody thought in the midst of the pandemic, movie theater's done, no one's going to go to the movies anymore, blah, 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 blah. It has been resurging and it's been making a comeback. And nowhere bigger is that being able to be seen than in the fact that July, now that July is done, has become the first month since before the pandemic to cross the $1 billion mark. This comes to us from the folks over at Yahoo who write the following. The box office still isn't totally back to the levels seen before the pandemic. With the exceptions of 2014, every July since 2003 has seen the box office top $1 billion. And the monthly total exceeded $1.2 billion each year between 2017 and 2019. But the success of the past 3 months shows that with the right film, audiences are more than ready to return to theaters, as July should finish with a monthly total of over $1.1 billion after this weekend. You know, we've been talking a lot recent months. I mean, just recently, the new Jordan Peele film, Nope, became the highest opening original film since the pandemic, since his last original film, Us. We saw the huge box office success of both Top Gun, Spider-Man. Doctor Strange nearly hit $1 billion. Thor has already crossed 600 million. All this kind of money, Minions did really, really well. I mean, so this again, and I like what Yahoo put in there. So it's like, it's still dependent on the movies that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't just put whatever out and expect there to be $1 billion things, but it is proving once again that with the right movies in theaters, the audiences are wanting to go back to the theaters. I think this is a very big deal for the movie theaters. Unfortunately, between now and October, not a lot of big stuff is coming out. I mean, we've got Bullet Train coming, which I'm super stoked about. But anyway, Chris, you hear about this. How significant is this really?
I mean, I think this all really goes back to how well Top Gun did, and it brought in those remaining people who were real recalcitrant to come back to theaters.
The over 40 crowd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think we're seeing a big tick here with Super Pets. You know, I mean, the trailers weren't that great. It was really just me and Ray who were like, this looks cute. And apparently it's better than, everyone's thought. I still haven't gotten to see it. I worked all weekend, so I need to go catch that one. But I think that's why we're seeing this kind of trickle effect, though, and we finally have people coming back in theaters, is we've had movies like Top Gun that really ushered in more folks to the theater. We also did have a big COVID spike, so I think we're going to see these numbers drop a little bit, even though we don't have anything particularly exciting coming out aside from things like Bullet Train. I think we're going to see another move back to being very cautious when it comes to the movies.
Or at least until we get the blockbusters come back out again in a couple of months. Rob, you see this. What do you think is the most significant? What stands out to you about these numbers we're seeing?
Well, like what Chris said, it's great to see people go back to the theater. I mean, and they're going back because there's things people want to see. Like you pointed out, the box office is only as good as the movies that are in the theaters. You've got to get people to want to come see these films. And by the way, Top Gun is still making money.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
People are still going. So it contributed to that $1 billion. You have Thor coming out, even though, my feelings on it were mixed. People are still going to see that. But we have to have, good movies. I think in the case of Super Pets, I think the perception was, even you and I were like, but you went and said, this is pretty good. I thought the movie was just based on the trailers for kids. Like, I didn't think it had anything to offer me. But when you came in, I was surprised. You liked it.
Right, and we'll talk more about Super Pets a little bit later.
But, I mean, I think that's part of the problem is that, you have to have a movie like Super Pets. You got to get, if you want adults to come back to the theater, you have to give them fare that they want to go out and see. And that's certainly not somebody that's not going to draw in the over 25 crowd, I think.
Ray.
This is where we can actually say that maybe streaming has a negative effect, maybe, like, only because, like, things like Super Pets, I could see people saying, I'll wait for it to hit streaming. It's going to hit HBO Max anyways. There's certain movies that you do want to go to the theater, but a lot of the movies like Super Pets could be ones that people are willing to wait on. Same thing with Nope. People may be interested to see it, see what all the fuss is about, I don't know. I'll wait for it to go to streaming.
I don't think so, because I'll wait for that to come out on video has always been a part of the conversation ever since VHS came out. Like this whole thing about, ever since I've been doing this, back from the movie blog days, For Your Consideration, AMC Movie Talk, like whenever we're discussing a new movie, one of the common refrains is, I'll wait for it to come out on video. I mean, so that's always been a part of the conversation. This is just a different avenue. So listen, we're still looking at a theater industry that is still in recovery mode and still trying to get more and more people back into the theaters from the pandemic. And it still hasn't won everybody over, right? Not everybody's coming back yet, although movies like Top Gun has done a huge job, like Chris was pointing out, to get those audiences back, but we'll see how that all goes. Anyway, guys, question is for you. For the first time since the pandemic started, we have a month that made over $1 billion at the box office. What do you think about that? How significant or not significant do you think that is? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. with that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
Our second topic comes from the antagonistic Anonymous. Hey, crew. While speaking with Esquire, actor Anson Mount revealed how Illuminati scenes were filmed compared to the rest of Doctor Strange 2. He explained that whilst himself, Patrick, and Chiwetel were filming scenes on their own, Krasinski's scene was the last addition as his contract wasn't even done. Is this even further evidence for Krasinski's future with the MCU? Thanks and bring on the filthy.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that, Hannon. Both my inbox and my news feed was flooded with Krasinski has signed a multi-film deal with Marvel. And it's like, really? And you'll go and you start to track, you start to vet the sources, and you start to go back to where is this coming from? And it all comes from this one interview where Anson Mount basically mentioned, I'm just summing it up, saying like that scene of the Illuminati and Doctor Strange, almost none of those guys were actually there together. Like a couple of them were, but like Patrick Stewart wasn't there when those scenes were shot. John Krasinski wasn't there when their scenes were shot. Like even though they're all up there together, they never actually shot it together. This is all post-production magic, putting them all in there. And one of the throwaway lines from Anson Mount was, Krasinski hadn't even signed the contract yet. They didn't have a deal yet for him to appear in the movie. So what people have done is what we as fans do. We have taken that one little bit of information and made it into something it was never intended to be, which is this confirms that they were in the middle of deep negotiations for a long-term contract for him to be Reed Richards. And as much as I am looking forward, and I still believe there is a chance that John Krasinski is our Reed Richards. I do believe that's very feasible, but this ain't it. Actually, it was pointed out really well by the folks over at Forbes. This is what they had to say about this situation. The only thing Mount means here is that everyone who showed up for this role is going to have some sort of contract in place. And Krasinski's wasn't done yet. A contract does not mean a multi-year, multi-film contract, and could easily just be for this specific scene. Kevin Feige has come out and said he specifically got Krasinski for the cameo to fulfill a fan casting dreams, implying that may have been all it was. This quote absolutely does not confirm that Krasinski is on board for more. Not at all. And I think they summed that up very well. I think that makes a very good case. Now, look, you can forgive somebody for reading Anson Mount's comment quickly and going, well, what was the holdup with his contract? What was so complicated about Krasinski's contract that wasn't complicated about it? I get it. Sure. But to make that leap from Anson Mount making some quick comment to confirmed John Krasinski as a is a stretch. And again, this is not me saying, I want to emphasize this, that John Krasinski is not going to be our Reed Richards. You guys know, I believe that's still a very valid chance. But this ain't it. Like, this isn't the smoking gun that tells us that that's what's happening here. Anyway, Chris, you saw these comments, heard these things. I mean, it is interesting that he was the last one to sign, but what do you take away from this?
Absolutely. I mean, could that mean he is making a negotiation to talk about other films? Absolutely. As could any of these actors, though, right? And I'm sure their teams are really hoping they do more Marvel films, because who doesn't want some of that cheddar, right? But this is what we do as fans, and also, I mean, within the YouTube sphere, right? We're looking for that fried gold nugget that we can cling to and talk about and report on with so much confidence. And all we can do is just say, maybe that's what's happening, or maybe he was just in one film. We can't say anything because we weren't in the room where it happened. At some point, we will find out who our Reed is, and that'll be fine. Whichever actor they pick, I like Krasinski, but whoever they end up going with, I'm fine with either way.
He also pointed out, too, that, you know, Patrick Stewart wasn't in the room with them. He was off shooting Picard. And so they actually had different actors stand in. It's like, well, we'll see what happens. If we have to use these guys, we'll use them. If we have to do deep fake on their faces, or if we can just edit in whatever. It's actually really fun to read how they pulled this together. Reminds me a lot of watching that Light and Magic documentary, actually. Anyway, Rob, you read this story. What is your takeaway from this?
Well, I think just what Forbes said, and when you listen to what Anson Mount was saying, like, it was thrown together, you know, I mean, not thrown together, but this was like, they didn't plan this way in advance. And when they probably got John Krasinski in, it takes time to get contracts written. Like, they probably were on a shooting schedule. It's like, look, we need to shoot this now. And we have to, on good faith, we have a contract in place. We know the basic deal. We just he hadn't signed it yet. This happens. You know, it's not something that's, that it's not surprising to me. But it, like you said, John, it doesn't mean that he has a multi-deal contract with Disney to star in multiple Fantastic Four films. I mean, that is a huge leap to make, because I think that would be celebrated. John Krasinski signs multi-9-picture deal with Marvel. I mean, that would be all over the trades.
Agreed. Well, guys, question is for you. What did you think about this? Did you read this? Did your thoughts go off? Do you still think Krasinski could be our Reed Richards? I think there's still a chance. But whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This one comes from James. Looks like the gloves are off regarding Stallone and Rocky. Following the news that Creed 3 has pushed its release date to 3/3/23 and a Drago spinoff is in active development, Stallone let it fly on his Instagram, blasting the Winklers on the Drago news. He even takes a shot at his friend Lundgren in the post. Do you think it's wrong of Stallone to be so public about his anger over all this? And do you think that the public bashing from Rocky himself will hurt Creed 3 and future Rockyverse projects?
All right, thanks for sending that in, James. And yeah, we were talking the other day about, Stallone kind of went public about he wants the rights given back to him and all this kind of stuff on Rocky. And then he believes like he wants something to leave to his children. So he wants his Rocky rights back. And it's like, well, leave money to your children.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of money that you have made off this franchise over the year. At any rate, of course, then last week, news came out that they're developing a Drago movie. And whether or not this actually happens, we'll see. It's in development, so we'll see if it actually comes to be. Well, one of the people who was really surprised to hear about this Drago news was Sylvester Stallone, being completely shocked by it. And he got on social media and just went off on it. This comes to us from the folks over at the Hollywood Reporter who were writing about this and said this. Stallone said, another heartbreaker, hearing about Drago. Just found this out. Once again, pathetic 94-year-old producer and his selfish, useless children are once again picking what is left off the bones of another wonderful character. Stallone wrote about Drago. Seriously? How do you weasels look in the mirror? The star continued. I am sorry to the fans. I apologize to the fans. I never wanted Rocky to be exploited for this greed. Hashtag no shame. Hashtag sad day. Hashtag parasite. He also referenced Lundgren in the post by writing, Dolph, why? Not a phone call? All right. Let me preface all this by saying, I have been my whole life and continue to be a massive Sylvester Stallone fan. Actually, I've got an editorial video coming up in the next couple of months about why Oscar is awesome. Oscar is one of the most underrated comedies of all time.
I thought I was the only one here that liked Oscar.
I love Oscar. That movie is balls. I love it. It's so good. Anyway, we'll save that for the video. I am a huge Stallone fan. I still am, always will be my whole life. That said, Stallone's position here is iffy. Number one, he made business deals that he has profited from greatly over the years. And, while Rocky is absolutely identified with Sylvester Stallone, he doesn't own it. And getting on social media screaming, give it back to me, is not a good rationale about why somebody should give it back to you. But there's two things in particular that kind of sat wrong with me. One, Stallone says, oh my gosh, I can't, the greed, the no shame, they're picking the bones of this thing, another cash grab. Sly, you made 6 Rocky movies, number of which many thought never should have been made.
With Irwin Winkler.
Yeah, with Irwin. By the way, I love all of them, Sly. I love all of them. But you made 6 Rocky movies, and then you made 2 Creed movies. But now it's greed. Now that they're going to do Drago, now they're picking. You made 8 Rocky movies, 8 Rocky Universe movies. But now this is the one that goes too far. Now it's greed. Now it's picking at the bones. Dude, again, you made 8 of these things. Also, if you know me, one of my big pet peeves is when people use social media instead of picking up a fucking phone and calling somebody. Dolph Lundgren is not a stranger to Sylvester Stallone. Dolph Lundgren is not just some personality out there that Sly doesn't know. They've been friends for decades. Sylvester's, if you've got an issue with Dolph Lundgren, don't get on social media. You say in your post, no phone call? Well, how about you, Sly? How about instead of just getting on social media and blasting out at somebody, why don't you just pick up a damn phone? You know the guy, you've got it. He's on your speed dial. Just pick up the phone and call him. Don't get on social. It just bothers. To me, it is the hallmark of the week for somebody to get on social media and use that to blast people they know. They just pick up the phone and talk to them. But anyway, that part bothers me a lot. But again, I am a Stallone fan. I love Stallone. But a lot of this is very questionable to me, his approaches. And I don't know what he thinks is going to happen. Does he think that a 94-year-old, well, he's actually 91 apparently, that a 91-year-old producer who's been in this business for decades and decades and decades going, well, this actor is being real mean to me on social media. I should just give him his property back. Ain't going to happen. What does he think is going to happen here? So and you ask at the end of the thing, do I think this could hurt like the box office or the performance of these movies? It could. If Stallone gets out there, starts campaigning, like the face of Rocky gets out there and starts campaigning against these movies, yeah, it's going to hurt business. I can't help but wonder if he's positioning himself for a lawsuit. I mean, I don't know, but this doesn't feel good to me, especially coming from a guy that I like so much in Stallone, but we all have a bad day. Rob, you're seeing the lashing out that he's doing here. What did you make this latest one that he did?
Well, first of all, I got to say, I too am a lifelong Sylvester Stallone fan. I mean, hell, I went and saw Victory 4 times, his movie made with Pele.
A lot of people still think that's his best movie.
I love that movie, and I loved him as Machine Gun Joe Viterbo in Paul Bartel's Death Race 2000, the original. So I love Stallone. I don't understand this at all because, no one was going to make Rocky with his script and with him in the lead role. But Irwin Winkler and Robert Charnoff did. And it's not what you deserve, it's what you negotiate. When they made Rocky, they had no idea that it would become the movie it became. I mean, maybe they suspected it could, but nobody knew. It's to make one movie that wins the Oscar for Best Picture, but to make a whole universe over the course of almost 50 years now. And let's not forget that Rocky allowed, Paradise Alley and Fist, the movies he made post-Rocky that weren't great, he got to make Rambo, 5 of those. He got to make The Expendables, 3 of those.
And don't forget Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
That
and
one.
by the
Only
way,
one of
the greatest awesome bad studio picture ever, The Specialist, with Sylvester Stallone and Sharon Stone. And I swear to God, in the shower scene they have together, you're looking at Sylvester Stallone's muscles instead of Sharon Stone's beautiful body. And that is a feat unto itself. The guy, I don't know. I really don't understand this beef that he has. And by the way, you know what? There is the Drago movies in active development. Why should Dolph Lundgren call him? Maybe Dolph Lundgren had to sign an NDA and say, I can't say anything about this till the deal's done.
By the way, just to point out, Dolph Lundgren has come out and said, hey, listen, I was under the impression that Sly was attached to this as a producer.
Yep.
Sure.
And Dolph Lundgren, by the way, has publicly come out and said, I have reached out and talked to Sly. So apparently they have spoken now. So just throwing that out there.
But I think that it's this is Hollywood, man. And if he had been a hard ass and said, I need to own the Rocky character from now until the end of time, the movie never would have been made. There would be no Rocky movies unless Sylvester Stallone signed the deal that he signed. This is an anomaly in all of Hollywood history. This has never happened before. There are other people that got screwed out of their movies, like Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin, don't own any of the Stargate TV shows, even though they created Stargate. This is what happens, but it's so rare. And Stallone, of all people, is a very smart guy. His entire career, and he's had a great, great career. He's making another Expendables movie, and he's 74 years old. What's he bitching about?
Yeah. Samaritan looks great.
Yeah, he's got Samaritan.
I like the look of Samaritan.
Samaritan looks
I think it
awesome.
looks really fun.
He's in Tulsa King.
He's got a show, yeah.
What? The guy is getting paid from now until Sunday.
Here's the question, though, too. It's business. If you really want some rights to Rocky, go make an offer. Buy him back.
Right, exactly.
Buy him back. You got a lot of money. Anyway, Chris, you're seeing this. What comes out to you the most when you read this?
I mean, it feels like a lot of double standards, doesn't it? Because Winkler is selfish and his children are selfish and useless. But I need to leave something for my children who are very, very capable and deserving. If a project involves...
They have a great podcast, by the way. Two of his daughters have
They're
a
the
fantastic
best.
Probably.
podcast, yeah.
That, and there's more story to tell if he's involved in it. But if he's not,
They're picking
then
the bones.
we're picking the bones. So that all is very interesting to me. And I agree with you. The best way to do things is open communication, right? And don't get me wrong, I love just eating some popcorn, watching a Twitter feud, seeing somebody post things like, I know exactly who needs to know this, but like, just talk to them. But telephones work both ways. So it shouldn't have taken a social media post that is fraught with internet yelling and accusatory notions to one of his friends for something to come from this, right? I'm so glad Dolph picked up the phone. I'm so glad that he, set the record straight on his social. I know that Sylvester took down his initial post too, so hopefully this is all getting sorted. But yeah, if you want the rights to something, go make a business deal. That's how business happens. It doesn't happen because you sit at home bitching and moaning and hope that your fans rally behind you. It's going to take some cash, buddy, and you got it.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? And do you ultimately think that if Stallone decides to mount and continue a big anti-everything Rocky campaign, that it could hurt the future? Could it hurt Creed 3? Could it hurt a Drago movie if it gets made at all? Or maybe it's much ado about nothing. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. We are content creators ourselves around here. And one of the organizations that I have used and loved using all the time is our friends who are a sponsor of today's episode over at Storyblocks. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at Storyblocks for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This is from Brian Fitzgibbons. Hey, John, I admit I never saw the Batman in theaters, and I had heard they were doing a Penguin spinoff show on HBO, which I thought was a laughable idea, until I saw the movie. Then I was really excited for the show. However, I just heard that Matt Reeves won't direct it. This kills some of my excitement for it. Were you surprised to hear Reeves won't personally oversee this new show?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And yeah, listen, the Batman, Matt Reeves is the Batman with Robert Pattinson, still, now that we're in, what are we in now, August? Now that we're in August, is still my number 2 best movie of the year. Number 1 is still Everything Everywhere All at Once, which has become A24's biggest thing. My 3rd favorite is The Northman, but The Batman still remains, after seeing a lot of great movies this year, my number 2 favorite. And one of the biggest surprises was Colin Farrell Cobblepot, the Penguin. He was dynamic and he just soaked up the energy on the screen when he's there, and it's like he was incredible in the role. I particularly love it, like when Batman and Gordon get him and they got him tied up, like that whole dialogue. It's like, because I'm like you, we heard whispers of this show before the movie ever came out. It's like, really, you're gonna do a spinoff of Penguin? All right. And then, like you, when I saw the movie, I'm like, this can't get here fast enough. Oh my God, I want to watch this. Now, you're right. Colin Farrell just recently confirmed that Matt Reeves will not be directing any of the Cobblepot thing, but don't fret because his fingerprints are going to be all over it. This comes to us from the folks over at CBR writing the following, and they're quoting Colin Farrell here, and Colin Farrell said this: Matt's up to his bollocks, hovering over the keyboard and just planning the story because he's just so meticulous, Farrell said in an interview with Entertainment Tonight. He's so obsessive about what he does, but he's all over HBO Max's The Penguin series as well. I mean, he's not going to direct it, but he is all over the structure of the scripts and who's going to direct them. And so it's exciting. And that to us, again, comes to us from the folks at CBR and Colin Farrell. And that really is, bottom line, the most important thing. Because I don't think many of us thought Matt Reeves would direct the series. Maybe direct the premiere, the first episode, as we quite often see stuff like that. But okay, he's not going to do that. No worries. We are going to feel Matt Reeves' presence all over this. He is pouring over it. He's apparently obsessed with it. He's going to be handpicking the directors who are going to do it. So while I would have been probably a little bit more excited if we were to hear the unlikely scenario that Matt Reeves was going to direct the whole thing himself, he is a little busy. I think I don't feel at all worried about it because clearly this is still getting a whole ton of his attention. He's going to have his fingerprints all over it. So I feel like it's still in good hands. And if Colin Farrell's excited about it, because he's very picky about the projects he's in these days, that makes me feel good. Rob, you hear about this. Are you worried at all that Matt Reeves isn't going to be directing this thing?
No, I mean, I didn't necessarily, like you said, I didn't think he was going to be directing it. I figured he'd be producing it. And if he's working on the scripts, after all, we always say this is HBO. HBO has an incredible stable of directors that have worked on whether it's Game of Thrones, whether it's The Sopranos, whether it's take your pick, whatever. HBO shows have an incredible pedigree of people that know how to make these kinds of shows.
Yeah.
And as long as you have Matt Reeves overseeing the vision, of the tone of it all, I think the show's in good hands. HBO's not going to want to make a show that's anything less than excellent from this, and neither is Colin Farrell. And it's a limited series. I think it's 6 episodes. Is it?
I can't remember how many episodes.
I mean, I've been watching Blackbird.
I bet you there won't be 30-minute episodes, though.
No, they won't. I've been watching Blackbird on Amazon or on Apple Plus, and it's a beautifully made show, and it's only 6 episodes. And I'm thinking, my God, if they could do this mini-series format, like this 6-episode format, that's all like one really well-constructed story. Dennis Lehane, who's an incredible novelist, has written all the scripts for Blackbird. I'm like, that's what you need. You need somebody that a visionary, a great producer, whether it's a Matt Reeves who's sort of written the show, and someone comes in and really knocks it out of the park. I think it could be great. I think this could be great. I'm really looking forward to this. I think Colin Farrell was amazing as the Penguin. He's going to chew this up. I can't wait to see it. Delving into the underbelly and also the organized crime. I'm really looking forward to seeing what does organized crime look like in Gotham.
And, we've pointed this out too, but a lot of film fans need to remember too that the difference between a series and movies. In movies, the director is the most responsible person for the overall quality. In television, it's not. It's the showrunners, right? And so that's why, also for me, it's not that big of a concern right now. But anyway, Chris, you hear this. Number one, are you interested at all in this Penguin series?
Hell yes.
Was there any difference between before the movie came out and then after you saw the movie? And are you worried at all that Matt Reeves isn't going to be directing it?
Definitely once I saw the film, I went, oh, okay, I get it. I want so much more of this guy. And like my colleague here, I want so much of that seedy underworld of Gotham. I want to dive into that. And honestly, Matt Reeves taking this approach to the show makes me feel more comfortable. I'm happy for him to be the kind of orchestrator over everything, the maestro. I want him show running. I don't want him directing this because I don't want to water down the next Batman film. I want there to be a nice cohesion here, but I like a leader who can delegate. And it seems like that's what he's doing.
Look at that makeup.
Oh, it's so
still
good.
Crazy.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Like I after seeing the movie 7 times, I still look.
I forget
at
it's him.
Yeah. That's Colin Farrell under
This
there?
makeup artist is incredible. They're also doing the work for Sebastian Stan's new film, where he has that kind of
Oh
my gosh.
facial work.
So I mean, this work is incredible, and Colin Farrell just kills it. He completely transforms in this role.
right?
He was probably one of my surprisingly favorite parts of the movie. I mean, I liked every time he was on screen. The problem with the series is they got to find a way for me to care about this character, because
That's a good point.
Because if there's no Batman, how would you get me to watch the next episode? I guess that's the showrunner's job. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. But as far as the character in the movie, that movie wouldn't be as good if he wasn't in it. As hard as that, as weird as that is to say, the way he played Penguin, just like I was entertained by him.
You raise a great point, because the notion of doing a Batman world show that does not have Batman in it. Now, there was mixed results when they did Gotham on Fox, right? Sometimes it was quite good. Sometimes it really wasn't, whatever. So can they do it here? I think that's going to be one of the keys to pulling it off. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Are you worried at all that Matt Reeves won't be directly directing the episodes of Penguin? Are you even looking forward to Penguin? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm insanely excited for it. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 5. Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
This is the one above Al or AI. I can't tell on there. Oh, the one above Al. There we go. Unpopular opinion, but I'm worried that Black Adam is in real trouble. Dwayne Johnson just headlined another DC Comics property with Super Pets, and it completely underperformed. From what I read, it needs like over 200 million to break even, and it just barely got 40 million worldwide. Does this indicate that DC fans just aren't feeling Johnson in DC? Could Black Adam be in real trouble?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And much like the whole John Krasinski contract stuff, I saw a lot of stuff filling my social media feeds and stuff like that is, I think Black Adam's in trouble. Now look, just like the Krasinski thing, where you can say, okay, no, I get it, why it piques your interest at first. You know, Krasinski, oh, he was the last one there, was taking a while to get his contract. I get it with the Black Adam stuff, because it is a DC property that is spearheaded and stars, although in voice form, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and it came out, had a decent, not an overwhelming, but about a $40 million marketing budget from what I understand. So a decent marketing budget. So it had a lot of push, and it underperformed. I'm not going to say it completely flopped, but it underperformed. And yes, I like the movie. I'm shocked as you are to hear me say that, but I like the movie. I had a good time watching it. I might even watch it again. But that above. But you know, it does raise a question. So people saying, well, does the results they had here, is this bad omens for Black Adam? Another DC property, spearheaded and starring on the star power of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Is this something that we should be concerned about? As a matter of fact, the folks over at IndieWire wrote the following, and really highlighting how this didn't do so well with Super Pets. By comparison, that's less than a quarter of the opening gross, the box office results for Super Pets. It's less than a quarter of the opening for Minions: The Rise of Gru, another animated Universal title, and last spring's The Bad Guys that cost 90 million less and opened to 1 million more. The Bad Guys had a bigger opening than Super Pets. The Bad Guys.
The Bad Guys was a good movie.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but who cared about The Bad Guys? And it had a better opening than Super Pets. So I think you'd be forgiven to say this does not look good for Black Adam, except I don't agree with that statement. And here's why. This movie, remember how I just told you that I was not expecting to like it? I don't think anybody was expecting to like it outside of this room, because it had a terrible marketing campaign. Terrible. What killed this movie was not that it was DC, was not that it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson leading that. What sunk this movie was the reason I went into it completely expecting not to like it, because it had terrible trailers. They didn't market it right. Mm-hmm. This is a comedy. You got to put into your marketing the fact that if you come, you're going to laugh. I never grinned at any of the trailers here. And so when I'm sitting in the movie theater with Ray and Ann and I'm watching this movie, I was shocked how often I was laughing out loud. And I'm like, Why wasn't this in the trailer? I don't know.
And you know what the worst part of the marketing was? If not the best character of that movie, I didn't even know they were in there. Like, I didn't see them in the trailer or whatever. Kate McKinnon's character.
Oh yeah, the
She's not in the trailers at all.
Than a quick shot here and
you
there.
just
You're
see
right.
her.
Yeah, you just see her basic, and you're right. She almost steals the movie. She's incredibly funny. The movie is filled with delightful, charming, funny, laugh out loud moments. I'm not saying the movie's great, but I had a good time watching it. And I'm just sitting there watching it, and I'm thinking, number one, holy hell, I'm laughing a lot in this movie. And number two, why wasn't any of this in the trailers? Because they put the most mundane, boring crap in the trailers. So look, while I get it that your mind would jump to making some comparisons between this and Black Adam. I get it. DC properties, spearheaded and starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I get it. I do. But I do not believe that had anything to do with it. I really honestly think, as somebody who ended up liking the movie and shocked that I did, it had everything to do with the marketing of it. This looked bad. Black Adam looks good. And if Black Adam comes out and underperforms and falls on its face, maybe then we'll re-examine some connections between them. But I honestly think it's a night and day difference. This one had terrible trailers. The Black Adam one does not. Although they have been the best trailers for Black Adam. We still don't even know who ultimately he's fighting in this movie. So they got to get around to that.
It's a long build-up.
Long build-up to that. But still, I do not believe there's any reason to be concerned about Black Adam because of the performance of Super Pets. Anyway, Rob, you see this. I mean, again, I think you can forgive somebody. There's a couple of big similarities between the two projects, but do you think there's reason to be concerned for Black Adam?
No, not at all, as a matter of fact. And I would go so far as to say, maybe this is sacrilege, but I don't think anyone particularly cares who voices what character in an animated film. What they're seeing, what they're asking to see is the animated film.
Yep.
And the reason and it's great. I mean, I understand why people, from a marketing standpoint, it's great to have celebrity voices as long as they're great and good for the parts. But when people go see animated movies, it's all about the characters. It's all about the characters and the story. And I think that the problem with this, and I will use myself as somebody, when I first heard this movie was coming out, I thought it was made for little children. Like great animated films, we have learned the Pixar movies are directed toward everybody. But there are the Minions movies are sort of directed at everyone. When parents are looking, if you're a parent, you've got kids, and you're looking at a trailer for something like The Bad Guys, or you're looking at Super Pets, what would you as a parent rather take your kids to see? And if you're going to sit with them and watch a movie, you're going to watch something that you want to be more palatable to yourself, in addition to have your kids love it. Super Pets, in my mind, I'm like, I much rather would have seen The Bad Guys than Super Pets, because it looks like it was made for, even like you said, the trailers, there's nothing for me to watch. And if I'm taking my kids, I want to watch something we can enjoy together. And I think the Super Pets marketing was terrible. And also, it seems like the whole premise of it was for children. Like, there's a lot of animated films that have, like, Zootopia. I mean, when I watched Zootopia, I love that movie.
Yeah.
So good.
It was so good.
So good.
And I went like this movie. I'm like, I'm a superhero. I've been reading comics since I was a kid. I looked at this trailer. I'm like, I'm not going to go see that. And there should be a vestige of my childhood in it going, I love crypto. Why wouldn't I go see this movie? Well, I didn't want to see it.
And there's a lot in there that adults will laugh at.
Yeah, well,
there's actually some stuff in it that's going to go right over,
and I think
go right over kids' heads. Actually,
I think
Perfect.
that's what undercut this. They did not tell their adult audience that has kids that this movie has stuff in it for them too.
it's for the whole family.
Yep.
Everybody can enjoy this movie.
Yep.
Anyway, Chris, you're looking at this. Super Pets has underperformed. Do you think, with the similarities with Black Adam, that should cause any concern for fans or Warner Brothers themselves about the possible performance of Black Adam?
No, it's apples and animated oranges. It's
Yep.
completely different,
Very
right?
well put.
And within DC Comics themselves, right, there are very, very dark, grisly adult stories, and there's lighthearted, fun romps that are enjoyed by people of all ages, right? I do agree with you guys that the trailers here did not do a good setup for everyone on this. But echoing what Rob was saying, I think we really banked on the celebrity voices here. Gizmodo did a great article on this, actually, about the celebrity voiceover trend. And I shouldn't be more interested in who's voicing the character than the character themselves.
Absolutely.
Your job as a voice artist is to breathe life into that, right? If we're doing something like this, if we're going back to traditional animation, right? It's two dimensions and you're the third dimension. You're breathing life into it. And your job is to serve that. It's acting void of its vanity, right? Which is how all acting should be. But in this case in particular, right? And so that's the big
dropping bombs.
That's one of the big differences here too between the bad guys in this film is that talent budget is probably tremendous for this. And I will say there are on-camera actors who do a beautiful job of voicing animated characters. Ben Schwartz, Keith David, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been nothing but so like impressed by voice actors and very, very encouraging of people doing that kind of work and talking about how hard it is. But I do think when that eclipses the actual story and characters you're trying to tell, you've got a problem and you need to go back to the drawing board.
You know what's funny? When Dwayne Johnson did Maui in Moana, I didn't hear Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. All I saw, he made this Maui character come to life with a lot of rockisms, absolutely. But
he did a
watching
beautiful
Super
job.
Pets, all I could see was The Rock's face whenever Crypto was talking. All I could hear was all I could see was Kevin Hart's face as the dog was talking. Because I think you're right. They completely put the impetus on who's doing the voices instead of the characters themselves.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think that's one of the things that hurt too. But again, I don't think any of us up here think this has anything to do with how good or not good Black Adam's going to do.
Yeah.
I love the way you said it. It's apples to animated oranges. One had horrible trailers. One has pretty good trailers. So yeah.
Can I ask you something? Let's just go to Black Adam since that's coming up. Do you think we will get the reveal of the villain before the movie comes out?
They better. Because look what happened with Justice League, right? When the Justice League theatrically first came out, we were all like, the granddaddy of all superheroes is Superman. And he's in this movie. He's in a good chunk of this movie. And they didn't put him in any of the trailers or in any of the posters. And then a week after the movie came out, they realized, this has hurt us. And all of a sudden they remade the poster and put Superman in the poster. And then they put out new commercials, but it was a little bit too little too late. And whether the missing element here is Henry Cavill as Superman, I don't know.
We've already got 2 trailers though, right?
We've already got 2 trailers. I think there is more to come. They're going to do more marketing, but they better start telling us what the movie's about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. We know who Black Adam. They're telling us a little bit about Black Adam in it, but we have no idea what this movie's about. And if Blade Runner 2049 taught us anything, you may have a great movie on your hands, but if you don't tell the audience what the movie's about, you're asking for trouble. So the answer to your question, Ray, is it's a great question. They better.
Yeah, I think so too.
They better. So, and again, it doesn't have to be Henry Cavill. I'm just saying, although it would be great if it was. But again, there's that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think? I get it if you're trying to draw comparisons because it's a DC property being spearheaded and starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I get it. Personally, I think they're 2 completely different situations. Most of us do. But how do you see it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys, with that down, we are now, boom, opening up the super chats. If you've got a thought, comment, opinion, theory, question that you want us to read out and address, now's your chance to do it. Jump on into the super chats. However, don't forget, we only leave them open for a couple of minutes. So if you've got one of those thoughts, get it in quick and fire it in now. But before we start reading those off, we want to get over and thank another sponsor of today's episode of the John Campea Show. They've been a sponsor of us for a long time. We love them, the good folks at Stamps.com. We want to thank the sponsor of this video, Stamps.com. Now, guys, you don't need me to tell you that running a business, no matter how big or small, is an incredible stress. It feels like you need 5 of you for all the different directions you're being pulled in. And with all that, who's got time to go to the post office? Having to drop everything that you're doing to make a run to the post office is a major pain and drain on your day, especially when you've got more important things to do, like running your business. So stop mailing and shipping the hard way. Stamps.com is your 24/7 post office that you can access from everywhere. Skip the headache with Stamps.com. Stamps.com gives you access to all of the post office and UPS shipping services that you need right from your computer. And get discounts you can't find anywhere else, like up to 30% off USPS rates and 86% off UPS. Stamps.com just makes your life easier, guys. You're up and running in minutes, printing official postage for any letter, any package, anywhere you want to send it. So guys, don't mail and ship the hard way. Sign up with Stamps.com today. Sign up with the promo code CAMPEA Campea for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and enter the code Campea. And a big thank you to our friends at Stamps.com. Guys, they make your life easier for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right. With that down, let's get on over and start hearing from our viewers. Ray, let's start off with our channel members. What do our channel members have to say?
Santez Henderson writes, love the show, guys. And Ray, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
You know how many people write to me almost every day and say, Ray Orr is my spirit animal. It's just, he's like, the most famous guy on the show now. All right, what's next?
Aaron Epstein says, happy birthday, Ray. Ladies, show the birthday boy some love, kisses, and hot toys. You know, money could get me that.
You know, for years, we've had people asking me for years if we can set up a P.O. box so they can send us stuff. And I have always resisted
that. He wants to send you something.
Yeah, I mean, I've always resisted that. I've always resisted setting up a P.O. box so people could send us stuff. I don't know. There's something, I don't know. I don't quite, I'm not saying I can't get over this. I just feel funny our viewers sending us things.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel the same way. But the guy who messaged me was saying something about something with socks or a cat with the wet socks. Something like he found something.
The Buzz Lightyear cat?
Why would I care about anything that
I don't
has to
know.
do
It
with
sounded like a children's book. I just forgot the name. I'll give it to you after the show.
Cat with wet socks.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound like one I'm going to rush up to read. All right, what do we got next?
Bailey Fuller writes, hey crew, happy birthday, Ray. Love the show. Rob looks like a modern day Kevin Nash from NWO.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll take
a little bit longer hair.
Take it. Yeah.
There is a Kevin Nash look there, isn't there?
Do we know if there's any news on the Peacemaker season 2 or spinoff show?
By the way, who wrote that?
Bailey Fuller.
No, but you know what's funny that you mentioned that. First, Cena's got a lot of stuff coming up, so they'll shoot that whenever. The guy who was the Terminator, and played his dad, Robert Patrick, was just on Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You podcast.
It's so good.
And he talked a lot about working with John Cena, and it's funny hearing him gush about what a truly wonderful guy they say he is off screen. He talked about how he brought his son to a WWE match where John Cena, like, was in the middle of one of his moves, came out, took the hat off his head, reached over, and he said he put the hat on my son's head. He said it was like the greatest moment of my son's life. He goes, but you got to understand, that's not a moment. He said, that's who John Cena is. And I've never met John Cena.
I've never met him either. And I've always wanted to hate him because of his wrestling persona.
Right.
But all this outside stuff, you can't hate him.
He does charity work almost as many days a year as he works.
Some of those videos on YouTube are very heartwarming.
Pretty inspirational. But no information yet on when they're going to start shooting that.
Okay.
All right, what's next?
Ishmael Montoya writes, hello guys, supporting the channel is a pleasure. By the way, that Andor show has me more excited than the Lord of the Rings. Ooh. It's so good to see the cast of Rogue One. I love to see Admiral Thrawn somehow.
I don't think we're going to see that in this show. You never know. Look, I'm not going to lie. I am still more interested in the Lord of the Rings show. I'm still more interested in the Game of Thrones show. But I mean, all the trailers look great, but this has really got my blood pumping. So let's see how good it can be. All right, what's next?
All right. Corbin C. Writes, happy birthday, Ray. Doobies plus gin for all. Let's hear that funny story if you haven't told it already. Much love to the entire crew. Thanks for all you do.
What was this funny story?
Okay, real quick. I don't like debt on my credit cards, right? So I tried to pay one off Saturday morning, and I did. It was 4 figures. It's paid off. Anyways, that night, my neighbor, right? My neighbor was flying up north because he lost his job, so he has to go away for 3 months.
Is that what happens in California? If you lose your job, you have to go away for 3 months?
No, he went up north because his cousin had a job for him.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway, so he had some funny stuff, and I said, okay, your last night, let's fine. I was loaded going home, and I went to sleep, and in my dream, I dreamt I was paying my bills. At least I thought. This morning, I noticed another charge of me paying PayPal. So I called them. I'm like, I accidentally charged or sent money twice. They're like, the only way we could pay you back is through check. So it'll take 5 to 15 days. So I don't have any money in my bank.
So in your fever loaded state, you paid something.
I thought I was sleeping. I paid some. So if I called you on Saturday night asking if you want your taxes done, I'm sorry. I probably did them. But anyways, okay, let's go on to the next.
All right,
Funny
what's
story.
next?
I'm broke.
Wowzers.
Sketchcraft. John loves Oscar. Hell
Oh,
yeah. Most
yeah.
underrated comedy of the 90s. Even has an Arlene Sorkin cameo.
Voice of Harley Quinn.
Doing the Harley voice.
Yeah.
Pre-Harley Quinn.
The original. That's just her voice.
Fanucci's. Yeah, the Fanucci's. We do you right. It's, oh my God, the movie's so funny.
Anthony.
It's so good. All right,
Anthony.
what's next?
Okay, what's next is Francisco Gomez Vega. Happy birthday to my man, the people's champ, Rayora, and love for all. Colo Colo won the Chilean Super Classico.
Good for them. Don't know what that is. All right, what's
Sound
next?
like a wrestler. Shane Roxas writes, this week I finally get my first hot toy, or should I say toys. I'm getting the Zack Snyder's Justice League Nightmare Batman and Black Suit Superman dual pack.
That's
so
the
freaking
two-pack.
pumped. Ryan just got
Yeah.
his. Ryan just got his.
Did he get the two-pack as well?
Yep.
That,
That-
Nightmare Superman, or Batman, I should say, looks
Yep.
awesome.
Did you order one, right?
No. No, Ryan, my roommate, he had that on pre-order. She showed me. He showed
You know
me
what?
it.
I'm going to
It's
say
amazing.
something unpopular. Before the movie stuff, I've never really cared about the black suits. I still don't. I don't get why anybody thinks that looks particular. I think that classic, the one right there on your desk, that one, Jonathan, let's bring that up. That,
great.
That is
That's a great hot
awesome
toy. It's a
looking.
great hot toy.
I think it's 20 times better looking than the black
Oh, I
suit.
love
one.
that.
So I've never understood the fascination people have with the black suit Superman.
well, I think
personally.
because it goes back to the Death of Superman storyline, and
I was never big on it there either. That's the
yeah,
thing.
I look, I have a whole Nightmare Justice League display because I've got Flash and I've got the Joker and I've got all the Nightmare Batman, so it's cool from that perspective.
Right.
And Superman's going to come kill them all. So if you just do a nice display where Superman's about to kill everybody, it's kind of fun.
All right, what's
two,
next?
I got two more. One from AFA. He writes, love you guys. Great show as always. I can't wait to watch Prey this week.
Oh man,
I want to watch
good.
Prey too.
can't wait.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a top 5 movie of the year, but it's surprisingly good. I was quite surprised how good it is. All right, what's next?
Okay, Tim Platt writes, Kim's Convenience, Parks and Rec, and now Schitt's Creek. You're officially my go-to source for sitcoms, John. Can't wait for Ted Lasso next.
They are some of the best shows ever. I mean, Kim's Convenience and Schitt's Creek. I mean, Parks and Rec. I think is officially my all-time favorite. But Schitt's Creek and Kim's Convenience are so good. If you guys have not started watching either of those, again, there's a reason why Schitt's Creek 2 years ago won. It's the first time it's ever happened in Emmy history. It won every award. It won Best Director, Best Writer, Best Lead Actor, Best Lead Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Writing, Best Directing, and Best Series. It swept every award. It's never happened before, and there's a reason for it. You got to go and check it out. And Kim's Convenience is fantastic.
You know, I haven't found anything I liked more than Malcolm in the Middle yet. That was like my favorite show of all time. Anyways, V gifted 5 membership.
Oh, thank you, man, for doing that. For our other viewers, thank you so much, man. That's always cool when people do that. All right. With that down, let's go over to the super chats here. So, Chris, what do we got?
We've got Mike's Movie Madness. Hey, Campea crew. I am so hyped for House of the Dragon, but I'm even more excited for the show to complete its entire run before George R. Martin finishes the damn 6th book.
Yeah, I think my grandchildren are going to be running some things before we ever get that completely done. So, yeah, there's that. But well pointed out. And yeah, I'm super excited for the show. Cannot wait. That Comic-Con trailer was so freaking good. I'm in awe of it. I can't wait to see this show. All right, what's next?
Okay, which way are we going up? This way?
There we go, yeah.
Okay.
From Tochi Victor. Watched Marcel the Shell and I loved it. It's got so much heart and emotion that I teared up a little bit at the end. Possible top 5 movie of the year.
Wow.
You know, I finally just got around to watching the trailer for it. And I'm
so
like,
darling.
this, I remember just yelling at my screen, stop it. This is so cute. Stop it. So have you seen the movie?
I still have, you guys, I've been working 7 days a week all this past month after COVID.
Right.
So I'm very, very behind on my movies.
Well, I'm actually looking forward to watching it myself. So once I get caught up on a number of other things I have to get caught up on, like I still haven't watched the most recent episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I got to watch it. Yep, I'm still behind on that one. All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw. As a fan, my issue with Black Adam movie is that I'm confused about who the main villain is or what is the overarching story. I don't think he's the villain and there is somebody else.
No, there is somebody. Let's put it this way: remove the word villain. and say antagonist.
Yep.
Who's the antagonist to Dwayne The Rock Johnson's protagonist, which is Black Adam in this? I mean, I get it. He is an anti-hero. So, but what is his main foil? What's going on in that? And other than the fact they're saying, oh, Black Adam's this bad dude who got a raw end of a deal and his son sacrificed. Okay, so we know who the character is. What's this movie about? And they've got to give us some of that, Rob.
Yeah, I don't know. The Justice Society of America's in it, so how do they fit in?
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Fate knows who he is. Like, you should be a better person. Like, okay, what are you going to do now that you're in the modern age?
Yep.
Take over the world?
All right, what's next?
From Josh Becker, I'm seeing Bullet Train tomorrow in Screen X. Ooh.
I am also seeing Bullet Train tomorrow. I listen, I've been stoked about this since 2 years ago when they showed us the first little teaser for it a couple of years ago at CinemaCon. And then at this most recent CinemaCon a couple of months ago, they showed us the first 15, 18 minutes of it. But when it ended and the screen went black, we're like, no, keep going. It looks so bonkers fun.
I can't wait.
Oh God, man, we are so excited for this movie. Cannot wait. All right, what's next?
From Tumbling Turdnado. Hey, C Crew, checked out the Devotion trailer. Looks good. So Glenn Powell played a pilot in 3 movies now. Hidden Figures, Top Gun Maverick, and this. If he plays Johnny Storm, that'd be 4. Fantastic 4. LOL.
I have not seen, that's the one with him and Jonathan Majors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the trailer for
It
this
looks
one
good.
yet.
I mean, it looks good. There's some CG, a lot of CG aircraft stuff because it's a period piece, but it looks really good.
Have you seen this trailer yet, Chris? I read about it, I think yesterday, but I didn't have a chance to actually sit down and watch it. But I mean, I liked him very much. Obviously Jonathan Majors is a hot thing right now. So yeah.
Was that the same thing that we saw in the preview at that one? And now we saw it was like the planes. Like remember that?
I haven't seen anything
at
of this
CinemaCon
yet.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think it was.
Okay.
Did they show something for it at CinemaCon?
Yeah, I think they did.
It was in that
Was
little.
it part of a montage
yeah, the
of other
montage.
films?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that would explain, because I
Yeah.
said there was no dedicated thing to it.
Right.
All right, but I have myself not seen it yet. All right, what's next?
From Chef Rigo.
Chef Rigo, we're going to see him today.
Yeah.
We're going, by the way, Chef Rigo, we're going there today.
John, I went to TGIF on Saturday, had mozzarella sticks, and you clever sick son of a bitch. Sour cream is the way to go. Mwah. I don't trust you.
Oh my!
I don't trust you.
Told you. And Chef Frigo has just backed it up. And by the way, Chef, we are coming in there today, so hopefully you're going to be there. But I'm telling you guys, I'm not steering you wrong. Try it next time you get those matzo sticks. It now has the Chef Frigo seal of approval. Try it. You will never go
I
back.
can't believe you tried it.
You will never go back. I'm telling you. All right, make your life better. Go try mozzarella sticks with sour cream instead of marinara. You'll never go back. All right, what's next?
Ben Rayner sending in a $20 super chat. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Loved your best worst episode last week. My best worst of Chris Evans. First, non-MCU. Best, not another teen movie. Worst, Silver Surfer. MCU, Civil War. Worst, or at least good, Age of Ultron.
I mean, I decided to go with movies that he was either the definitive lead or one of the top 2 or 3 people in it, right? So, of course, for you, not another teen movie was your worst, was your designated worst. You know, a lot of people mention, none of us mentioned train spotting, bullet train, Snowpiercer. None of us mentioned Snowpiercer. I'm going to be honest with you. I was a little late to the Snowpiercer party when that movie came out. And everybody raved about it. And maybe that had something to do with it. Because when I finally sat down and watched it, I got to admit, I'm not the biggest fan in the world of Snowpiercer. Like, I liked the movie. I did. I enjoyed it. I liked it. But it doesn't sit way up there for me like it does for a lot of people.
I agree. And I thought about Snowpiercer, because I was thinking about ensemble movies and science fiction. And it's obviously inspired a TV series. But I'm like you. I'm like, I like Snowpiercer.
Yeah, I liked it.
But
It's
I
good.
didn't love it.
I'm totally with you on that. All right, what's next?
From Attack of the Mushi. Can Necromancer be successfully adapted?
Okay, first of all, for those of you who don't know, Neuromancer is William Gibson's 1984 science fiction novel. It is considered pretty much ground zero of the cyberpunk movement, even though Tron came before that and Blade Runner is really the inspiration. It's a huge movie. It's I think, a difficult movie to adapt. I don't know if anyone can actually do it properly, and a lot of the ideas in it have been stolen from so many other movies and TV shows. I don't know.
All right, what's next?
Hold on, I got some bad news right now, John. Some bad news. Chef Rigo just messaged me and said he's not working today. into going on. And he said a bunch of the rookies are working today, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But
No, we've
this
gone
is
to
the day. This is the day a knife gets flung at me. Chef, save me.
all right. What's next?
Chris Carr killed in a
That truly is my greatest fear.
And it's the rookies today.
no.
accident.
It's all
Oh
happening.
gosh. Okay, Andy sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Andy.
I knew this was coming. I was watching clips of this today. One of two. Saw the Riverdale season 6 finale last night, and it was kind of wholesome until it reminded me that it's Riverdale. Season 6 has been Supernatural meets Infinity Saga meets Glee. Early on, I thought the craziest season 6 episode was when Tabitha gained the ability to travel through time, I believe is what it is.
Here we go. Lost my mouse here. Here we go.
Superpower to time travel by a hitman shooting her and had to describe that to her guardian angel. But it got more insane after that.
God.
I'm now on vacation from the show. Please pray for me when season 7 comes. Cheryl Blossom becomes the Scarlet Witch. It's ridiculous. They all siphon powers to her. I don't understand what the show is.
How is this getting a season 7?
It's the
I
last
thought it
season.
got canceled.
This
Oh,
is the
so
final
7,
season.
they said
and
7.
Supposedly, what's happening? Please correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I read. Is that now whatever magic-y, superpower-y thing Cheryl Blossom did, now the last season's going to take place in the 1950s with them all as teenagers again, very much as their original comic book characters, like that design.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening.
That's hilarious.
It has to be so fun to be a writer on the show because you can pitch anything.
Listen, the only way you're going to get me remotely interested in this is if you say they're moving season 7 straight to HBO Max and it's straight up porn. If they do that, maybe I'll check out an episode or two.
It's a lot of making out.
Set in the 50s.
Yeah, but you got to move that off CW and put it
And
on
then,
HBO Max and then
Oh
just take the
CW
reins
After
off,
Dark.
let go. Then maybe. Otherwise, God, this show's gone so far off the rail. All right, what's next?
From BJ, sending any $20 super chat. Thank you, BJ. My typical answer to what famous person do you share a birthday with used to be Judge Judy, but now I can say it's with the illustrious Ray Ora.
There you go.
Happy birthday, my dude.
Judy's birthday's today. Happy birthday to that.
Oh, there's a little more. Hold on.
Oh, I got excited.
How about you guys? Any other famouses share your birthdays? Oh my
I
gosh.
honestly
Happy birthday.
don't know. I've never looked as, I mean, there is only 365 days in the year. So odds are you got some number of, I don't know any of mine. What about you?
I don't know.
Do you remember,
I've never thought
do you
about it.
remember Dom DeLuise?
Oh, of course.
There's only one time where I read famous people's birthdays, and he was the only one I remembered, and that was when I was 8. Like, I looked at the newspaper that day, and they were showing all the people's birthdays, and I remember Dom DeLuise.
Oh.
I share a birthday with him.
I watched some old stuff. He was
He was really funny.
funny.
He was so funny.
He was funny.
That's great. I'm
All
with
right.
Shania Twain, Leanne Rimes, and Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh,
August 28th, baby.
man,
got-
you feel like a
Wow,
woman.
your birthday's coming up.
I
Yeah,
got
it's-
Good Canadian girl, by the
it's
way.
my month.
Shania Twain.
Chrishanukkah.
Just pointing that out.
Oh, it's Krasinski.
Chris Hanukkah's arriving so soon.
Okay.
I don't want to steal
All right,
Ray's
Everyone's
thunder. though.
talking. I don't know
What's
who's
next?
The floor up. There we go.
No. Jonathan was about to say who you share your birthday with.
Jonathan Rhys Meyers from Tudors, and Nicholas Coster-Waldau from
Game of Thrones.
Game of
That's
Thrones.
Ooh,
Triple H.
Triple H.
Oh, nice.
that makes sense. Your personalities are a lot
Rudolph.
alike.
Oh, Maya Rudolph. She has that new show on
It's
Apple
so
TV.
good.
Is it good?
All right,
I know
we got
there's
to
a
keep
few
moving here.
others,
What's
but
next?
It's okay.
From Jai CSC. If it were me and I were a higher up at WB, dodge the axe of Zaslav, got Cavill back as soups for Man of Steel 2, and it's starting production soon. I'd let that news slip on, say, the same day as D23.
Listen, there has been a bit of a history of
Violence.
both Marvel and Warner Brothers like dropping big news when the other is doing something big. So I don't know, because here's the thing. With the bombs I am expecting from D23, I don't think you want to drop Henry Cavill coming back as Superman. By the way, we didn't even know that's happening. But if it were, I don't know that I want to drop that news when D23 is going on, because as much as it would mean a lot to me, that news is going to get overflooded with the stuff that's coming out of D23. So I wouldn't do that if I were Warner Brothers. Not on D23. Maybe on the day one of the movies is coming out or something like that, but not on D23, because there's going to be so much stuff coming out. It's the anything they try to release that day is just going to get washed out. All right, what's next?
From Carlos Sosa, will we see the Spider-Men back in Secret Wars?
I don't think so, but anything is possible. That's certainly a possibility, but I'm going to guess not. All right, what's next?
From Bruh. Oh, excuse me. Bruh.
Bro.
Greetings, everyone. This one's for Robsham, the judge. You know what'll look good beside the deluxe Mandalorian hot toy I ordered? A black arena suit Boba Fett.
Yeah, but those are sold out, so good luck getting one.
And
You can buy one secondhand. You'll be able to buy one off the market, but it's going to be more expensive.
Could be, but man, those are exclusives, and they're beautiful.
And they're going to be expensive.
Look at you just wistfully staring on.
Were you able to get an order in, or was it too late?
I didn't order it. Yeah, it was way too late.
All
Way
right.
too late.
What's next?
From David Sock and Lotion. Happy birthday, Ray.
Happy birthday, Ray.
Thank you, Sock and Lotion.
All right, what's next?
Sticky birthday message. Luis Enrique de la Peña. Andor looks like an espionage show, or it has a little bit of The Departed. Would you like to see a straight-up comedy, rom-com, or musical someday from the Star Wars universe?
I mean, any and all. It's been proved. If done right, any of those can work beautifully and be great. So I don't really listen. We got a lot of comedy in Star Wars. So yeah, Tag and Bink is a straight up comedy show. I'd be down for that, or just about anything. So a musical thing, you could do that. Again, it all depends on if it's executed well. Anything can work right. Felipe the Sentient Dancing Microphone will work if done right. So yeah, any of those could be good. All right, what's next?
From Pomodoro 23. Hi, Chris. Love your work in the Emoji Movie. Is that just a way of saying I'm like the little poop emoji? I'm not in that movie.
Oh, you're not?
I'm
Okay.
not in that movie at all.
All right, what's next?
Wait,
Did
what?
we read Chris Minor?
No, we didn't.
Chris
Okay.
Minor. Did y'all watch SummerSlam? Tractor Mania, baby.
I did not. I heard it's good. I heard it was good.
Oh
Yeah.
my! Did you see? Chris?
No, I was
They
working.
okay, Brock Lesnar took a tractor to the ring and lifted it up, and Roman Reigns rolled all the way out. Like it was completely up, like this way. So Roman Reigns was right there, and he rolled all the way down to the floor. It was one of those spots I didn't think they would do,
You
but
gotta
they
up
actually
the ante
lifted
with
up
Roman
the,
Reigns, though, because he's kind of boring to watch.
Yeah, he's
All
still
right.
the champ.
Wow.
What's next?
From Al Renshaw. Is it virtually guaranteed that we are going to get a full trailer and big presentation for Avatar 2 at D23? We've not really gotten anything yet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. I'm guessing that's not even going to be in the top 7 of the things that happened at D23. I serious. When you go back to the last D23, like people forget what they dropped at D23 last time. It was huge, and I think this is going to be bigger. And so, yeah, I mean, what do you think? Are you expecting a full featured trailer from Avatar?
Absolutely. This is their Super Bowl. This is their big thing. They're going to drop everything.
Plus, they're re-releasing Avatar next month.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So they're going to hype that up as well. So it'll increase its lead over Endgame as the #1 film of all time. And then at some point, Disney will go, we want our other movie to be #1 now. And then they'll re-release Endgame and it'll pass. And it'll be this game of leapfrog for the next 20 years. All right. What's next?
From Sir Jan. Andor may be a better Star Wars show than the one starring Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. That is crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, it looks great again. It all depends on the approach and whatever. It's like if you would have said, hey, you're going to make this little side character from one of these other movies, a good movie, but one of these other movies could be better. It shows, you can if you execute it right. And again, all we've seen is the trailer. The show might be crap, but we'll find out. All right, what's next?
From Irene Jobson. Happy birthday, Ray.
Happy
Aw.
birthday, Ray. Thank you for sending
Thank
that in,
you.
Irene. All right, what's next?
From James Wheeler with a $20 super
Thank
chat.
you,
Thanks,
James.
Good morning, everyone. How do you all feel about Destin Daniel Creighton's previous movies, Short Term, 12, Glass Castle, and Just Cause?
Short Term 12 was great.
I loved it. I own that movie. I love that movie.
I'm clearly not aware of it. I was like, is there supposed to be punctuation here?
I haven't seen the other two.
But listen, Shang-Chi, I like, to me, and I know, listen, I fully acknowledge, I understand I like it more than most people do, but I will debate anybody that Shang-Chi is a top 5 MCU film. When you really go beat by beat through, I don't know that an origin film of a character nobody knew. Because, Rob, nobody knew Shang-Chi. Nobody amongst the general movie-going audience really knew Shang-Chi at all. The way they took that character, ingratiated the character and all the other side characters in there, and of course having Tony Leung in there as well, but I think it's just directed, it's a perfect balance of great action, humor, fun, familial issues. I mean, with I think a lot of people will criticize like the CGI-ness of the final sequence, but I was captivated by it the entire time.
Sure.
And the two fights before the ending, the subway fight and the building fight, those things were really cool. I thought.
The bus fight, you mean?
Yeah, the bus
The
fight.
bus fight is, I think, my favorite action sequence in comic book movies.
So good.
And they've got DJ Snake's "Run It" playing during that sequence,
Love
and it's
it.
just perfect. It's
Yep.
it's a perfect action sequence. I love it. It's amazing. All right, what's next?
From Cliff Bridges, some support. Thanks, Cliff. Mike Movies Madness. Andor looks amazing. If the production value looks as good every episode, it does beg the question. One of two. Mike, did you make it?
So we're looking.
It begs the question.
Oh,
There
it
it is. How is Lucasfilm doling out the budgets for these shows when Boba Fett had those cringy Vespas and Obi-Wan went back and forth with looking like a movie and a fan film?
You know, it's a great question. Because listen, if you'd be forgiven if you think I hated Obi-Wan. I didn't hate Obi-Wan. It was all right. But it was just disappointing to me. But one of the big things was a lot of the visuals looked terrible. Especially like the ships. Like it looked like circa 2012 video game.
Yeah.
Like when the ships would fly into scene, it's like, and so it's a little confusing when you look at that and then you see this trailer for Andor. And you're like, how is this? I mean, I don't know. And listen, we may watch Andor and they just put all the best effect shots in the trailer and everything
Sure.
else will look like crap. We'll find out, but that is a very, very valid question, man. And I'm curious to find out what the answer is going to be. All right, what's next?
From Alex Martinez. Hello, John and crew. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Just wanted to say I tried mozzarella sticks with sour cream. It was good.
Boom! Vindication!
I don't believe any
It
of
is the
you.
don't
four-syllable word of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Vindication. I am telling you, matzo sticks with sour cream, you'll never go back, baby.
Every time you say matzo stick, I just keep thinking of matzo.
what?
Yeah. Why would you put that with the sour
My grandmother
cream?
would have made
That's a
them for
terrible
me.
idea.
I'm glad you opened up your horizons and you've entered into a whole new world. It's amazing
I'm
stuff.
gonna have sour cream sticks
Why are these
dipped in
sticks
mozzarella.
different than all other sticks?
All right, what's next?
From Victor Edbaum with a $21 super chat.
Thank you, Victor, man. That's incredibly generous. Thank you, man.
Light and Magic was great. So inspirational. Also couldn't help but feel bad for Phil Tippett after what happened with Jurassic Park. They scrapped his stop motion work and decided to go with CGI, but it was the right choice.
Okay, first of all, I got super excited when I saw that this documentary was happening. I'm 2 episodes in now. It's incredible.
Yep.
Like, first of all, remember, it's not like everybody forgets. Like today, we all walk around with 4 and 8K video devices in our pockets and our phones. How they have all this footage is, quite frankly, astonishing. The job that Kasdan has done bringing this to life
It's incredible.
is insane. And I am hooked, like everything from the drama of how the motion camera got made. I mean, like, it's just realizing, well, we needed this shot. Technology doesn't exist to do that shot. Well, we better create it. And like, what? It's been incredible so far. I can't wait to finish. You finished the whole thing, right?
Yeah. And it's melancholy. I mean, I hope they make a season 2 because they stopped quite a while ago. And so they could do a season 2 because you've got 25 more years really to cover.
See where it is now, because they're still the preeminent visual effects house in the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Andy, concerning what you said on Friday about paying the crew living wages. I love you as a film fan, John, but I now love you even more as a person.
Because he
Oh,
pays us living wages.
Yeah, we're not. Everyone thought we were indentured YouTube servants.
Jonathan was like, wait a minute, who are these
Yeah,
other ones that
who
are
gets
making
paid?
living wages and why am I not? No, listen, it's good business, right? It's just good business because I want the people who work here to like working here. And part of liking working here is the fact that, hey, I make enough money that I can pay all my bills and save some money away and blah, blah. Like I like to think that, especially in the YouTube space, I don't know. I mean, I like to think in YouTube space, I probably play better than most people do.
Yes, you do.
I like to think I do. And-
There's a reason why after I started working on your show, I was like, do you need me to do errands for you or anything else, I can be here more than the place I'm doing 6 videos a week at.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and so when you have talent like Chris Carr, you have talent like Robert Meyer Burnett, and well, I mean, Ray's obligated to be here. I married his sister, so
That was a bad deal for you.
or a Jonathan Voico, like you want them to be happy and yeah. So I mean, it's just good business. It's not about being generous. It's about good business. Anyway, all right, what's next?
From Genevieve, hey guys, just wanted to say I love the show and the team.
Oh, thank you, Genevieve.
Watching you, John, since I was 14, 15, 23 now.
Wow.
Also, Rob, did you see the teaser for Blackpink's official comeback in August and September?
Oh yes, that animated video. Here's the thing: every time I watch something Blackpink related, I feel guilty and old, and that I shouldn't.
What
be
is
watching
it? What is
There is
Blackpink?
fantastic
It's an all-girl-
K-pop band.
okay.
It's
K-pop all
it's
girl.
the all-girl K-pop band. La Lista.
Yeah.
Oh, I know she's from Thailand, but I don't care.
I'll tell you what.
See, that's why I have to stop.
True
I can't go
story.
any further than that.
True story. Me, Anne, Ray, and my mother-in-law, Anna Ray's mom. We went to this Korean place. Remember this, Ray? We went to this Korean place to eat dinner, and the food was great. But they had a bunch of TVs up, and all the TVs were playing was this long cycle of just K-pop bands. And honest to God, I thought it was all the same group.
Yeah.
No, there were 2 groups, because there was the guys groups and then the girl group, and I just thought they were all the same 2 groups the whole time, because they all looked and sounded exact. They dressed them the same way, they styled them the same way, they danced the same way. It's just I don't know. But I guess, I don't know, that's probably what like my parents' generation thought when I'm growing up and watching and listening to like Poison and Quiet Riot and I said, they all look the same.
Yeah.
Hair out to here, they all dress the same.
Every
style the
90s
same.
boy band. My parents were like,
Every 90s boy band.
degree of sync, what is this one?
Degree of sync on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably all look and sound the same, but
They do.
well, whatever. My friends love them. You apparently love them.
Yeah.
Blackpink's amazing.
Well, you know, to be honest, when I saw Boombaya for the first time, I loved how it sounded, because look, I was a huge fan of like remixes in the 80s, and it had that quality to it. Then of course the girls are all smoking hot, but it was a legitimately cool song. And so I really do like a lot of that produced music. Not all of it though.
Does that side of your head always have to speak out? Can you just keep that?
I can't say that.
You can. I love it when you say it.
I'm not the only one that likes Blackpink for that reason. I'm just saying.
All right. What's
All right.
next?
From Enzo the Baker, jump scares in films, love, hate, or tolerate them.
Done right, they can be very effective. There's a Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer movie called What Lies Beneath.
Oh,
What-
yeah.
That honest and that a lot of people like. I did not like it primarily because all it did was jump scares.
It's a jump scare movie.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you know what ghosts do? Ghosts can't help themselves. They like to make TVs turn on and off and close doors. And it's like the whole movie's just jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. And it's like, but like they used right, jump scares, you build tension a certain way, and then you surprise the audience with a good jump scare. Again, movies are experiential events. So you give those experiences, it can be amazing. Use them the wrong way, you get what lies beneath.
I'm not a horror movie person, as you guys know. I love a jump scare. I think they're done so well because it's just your brain not noticing a pattern, right, and then getting freaked out by it. But mostly it's because Logan loves horror movies and does not do well with them. So he screams so loud in theaters, you guys. It's amazing.
Wow.
When we saw Nope, the entire theater was just cracking up over him in that barn scene.
The barn
'Cause he was
scene's
just like,
amazing.
oh God, oh no, what's happening?
You got to
It's
tell them to
amazing.
watch the movie that has the greatest jump scare of all time,
Mm-hmm.
which horror connoisseurs will tell you, Exorcist 3.
Okay.
Exorcist
He
3.
laughs at
and
the
by the
first
way,
Exorcist.
don't look it up on YouTube because I just hate that people
You gotta
made
see it in
that.
context of the movie.
Ugh.
You know,
Okay.
honestly, one of the best jump scares I've ever had. It wasn't even a scary moment, but it was one of the best jump scares ever. It was Deep Blue Sea.
Oh.
The infamous Samuel L. Jackson
Oh,
scene.
yeah.
Because they set it up that you totally don't see it coming. He's in the middle of this speech, and all of a sudden, bang! And it's like, honestly, it was one of the most startled I'd ever been in a movie theater.
You know, I have to say, a good jump scare, there's an art to that. And
Yes.
the reason I love the Exorcist 3 jump scare is because it takes you to the point where you think something's going to happen, then you fall back, and then you don't think anything's going to happen, then something does happen. That it's always timing, and the Deep Blue Sea timing
It's perfect.
is. I mean, I wonder if, like, because it's an effect scene, I wonder if they had to like try it, you know, like to figure out which moment was the best, or did they just get it on the first try?
John?
You want to know a great example? I'll give you a great example of a jump scare. It's oh man, I messed up.
I do, and by the way,
Yeah, I
James
didn't, 'cause the
Wan is
people at
a
home know what's
master
going on
of
right now.
What's happening?
I had the intro music on.
Oh no. Okay.
No, that was a jump scare. People are like, my ears.
All right. I don't know where you're going with that, but
No, I literally jump scared
Yeah,
people.
he
oh,
ran
with
for
the
them.
thing.
He ran here immediately.
Because they always complain when that pops up because it's loud.
Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time when I was controlling the show. All right, what's next?
From Attack of the Mushi, Super Pets. I still have 8 lives. I died.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into it at all, except one of the best things that Super Pets does, and I'm not going to give any details, but it confirms and affirms the universal truth that cats are all assholes and cats are stupid. All right, what's next?
That's actually incorrect. But anyways, we'll move on.
From Eduardo Hal Santos. Rob, you think we'll ever get a reboot of the 2015 series Surface?
Is that the Lake Bell series? I don't know.
I'm not familiar. I
Probably
love
not.
Lake
Also,
Bell. I'm not familiar with that.
Tom Ellis for 007 would love to see Lucifer as Bond.
Hey man,
I could see it.
I could.
He's very
He's
charismatic.
so great.
Here's the problem, though. As much as I love Tom Ellis as Lucifer Morningstar, the reality is the only thing I've really seen him do. And I honestly don't know if he has any ability outside of that character. I just don't know. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying I don't know.
I agree. I completely agree with you. We need to see more of him.
Yeah.
Whether he could play Bond.
I agree. All right, what's
It's
next?
worth a shot.
From Raymond Briata. R.I.P. the queen of hailing frequencies, Nichelle Nichols, the goat of all sports, Bill Russell, poor unfortunate soul, Pat Carroll, the voice of Ursula from The Little Mermaid, and prop master of the Conan show, Bill Toll.
There were a bunch. It just
Yeah.
like it was within 5 minutes of each other that I found out about Nichelle and about Bill Russell. And it was like
Bill Russell lived in my hometown.
not only great at what they did in their crafts, but also socially incredibly important, both
Yeah.
of them. And for Nichelle, we obviously talked, Bill Russell goes without saying. But yeah, there's a lot of them this week. All right, what's next?
From Stubble McShave, looking forward to Andor. This time period is what we used to cover when we played the West End Games RPG. I hope there'll be a minimum of lightsabers.
First of all, big shout out referencing the West End Games. It's still, in my opinion, the greatest role-playing game of all time. The West End Games D6 system of the Star Wars role-playing game, it's the one I play. It's still the best one they've ever made. The time period we always would play in, that I'm pretty sure about 95% of our campaigns always took place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. That's where 95% of I think that's where 95% of Star Wars campaigns take place. But that was my favorite thing. We never did it really in that era. That's an interesting one to do one. I don't think I've ever played one in that era before. All right, what's next?
From Mason Hawking, imagine if it's just 18 10-minute Daredevil episodes.
Yeah, no, I think there would be riots. I think there would honestly be riots. There would be people gathering at the gates of the Disney lot. Yeah, that would go down badly. All right, what's next?
From E-Read 2009, hey crew, I think Inhumans should be reimagined as mutants for MCU. Keep it simple, Feige.
I don't think they should use Inhumans at all. Honestly, there's not a single, with the exception of Anson Mount, there's no iconic Inhuman character. I really don't know that.
Medusa. I don't know. Maybe
Is really Medusa an
But
iconic?
I don't know.
I just don't know. I don't see any need or reason to go to Lockjaw.
A Lockjaw I would love.
Yeah,
but you
of
can
course I would love-
easily throw that in just
Yeah,
anywhere.
exactly.
There's a weird alien dog we have here now.
Captain
Enjoy.
Marvel could have come across Lockjaw in her travels.
Yeah.
Like, here's my pet Lockjaw.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Plus, the X-Men has such a pantheon of great characters.
Thousands.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Listen, I'm not saying Kevin Feige has completely shut the door on it. I think he did, and I think he should. But this is a new era. He could do anything with them. So we may not have seen the last of the Inhumans. All right, what's next?
From Harves K, I'm digging this season of The Orville. The story arc of a certain new character was very poignant, and the episode focusing on Bortus's child, Topa, was Peabody Awards worthy. Bravo to McFarlane and co.
I'll tell you what. The new character, I'm forgetting her name now.
Yeah, but she's great.
the pilot. I
Yeah.
don't know why I'm forgetting on her name. But anyway, the character's name. When they brought her in, I put up a tweet about this actually after I watched the last episode. I hated that character at first. Like, okay, come on, seriously. But after watching, but the character started to grow on me. And this last episode, when the true fruition of what her character's journey was,
Yeah.
I sat back and I went, damn it, if that's not one of the best uses of a character I've ever seen in television. That you brought in this character, normally in anything Star Trek related, and let's face it, Orville is a direct Star Trek ripoff, so I'll count it. When you bring in a new character, they do something in like an episode and they're gone. What they did was that they took that archetype, but instead of just wrapping it all up in one episode, they said, this is going to be an important thing that's going to build over the entire season and then be brought to an emotional head that brings it all into focus. And when that happened, I was like, that was brilliant. It was so well done. I felt it. And I think it's going to have, anyway, I just love the way they did. I can't wait for the finale.
I agree. And, they really set that up, especially the episode with her and Isaac
Yes.
sort of reconciling to one another. I mean, it's really well done. Really well done.
All right. What's next?
From Dat Dude Jake C. Hey, crew. Happy birthday, Ray.
Thank you.
Love the show. Any of y'all watch Barry on HBO? One of my favorite shows. So good.
Love
Season's
Barry,
great.
but I have not seen season 3.
Ooh.
So I'm not caught up. There's so much stuff I need to get caught up on, but I have not got caught up on season 3. Speaking of Henry Winkler, I have not got there yet. But listen, the episode, I think it's season 1 with the Karate Girl, is one of the best single episodes of television in the past 6 or 7 years. Like I say, that one episode is seriously one of these single, like if anybody said to me, if there's only one episode of Barry I should watch, that's the episode. It's fantastic, but the overall show is great. All the characters are wonderful. It's just so good. If you haven't started watching it, try it. All right, what's next?
From Rafael Castillo, we lost a major cultural icon, a wonderful, beautiful soul. She lived a long and inspiring life, a legacy that many of us will long cherish.
It is unfortunate, and we're all guilty of this, that we don't recognize it or celebrate it enough until they're gone. But again, the sci-fi art, not only was she iconic in that, the social importance that she represented. You guys did a beautiful job pointing out about how just her very presence on the show inspired the next generation. I mean, like Whoopi Goldberg not only was so inspired, believing she could do it, then she ended up on Star Trek, right?
And Mae Jemison did too.
Yeah, and you talk about the influence on NASA
Yeah.
and people believe that I could be an astronaut, I can be in space. I mean, it's just so incredible. It's unfortunate we don't celebrate that enough while they're still here. And I think we're all been guilty of that, including us. All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw, that Andor trailer was great and makes me even more excited for the series. I was Fry saying, take my money, give me this now.
Yeah, the first couple of trailers have been great. I mean, we were oohing and awing about the first couple of trailers.
Yeah.
But this one puts them to shame. Like, I didn't think I could get more excited for
It's
this
all
show.
character stuff too, not just the great visuals, but the character stuff.
Like
Man.
you pointed out, it's great. The Star Destroyer shot, all the space battle, but it's the dialogue, it's the lines, it's that intrigue that builds. It's like they won't know what I'm really doing, and what are you really doing? Like that moment is so good.
So good.
All right, what's next?
From Raymond Villarda, I can see Stallone working out in his mountain farm with Hearts on Fire blasting on his boombox. Then he glances at his iPhone and he yells, Dragon!
Dragon, strong desire.
Dolph.
Man, you just painted that entire picture in my head, man. Now it's just totally there. It's gonna be there for the rest of the day. All right, what's next?
From Campea and Curiosity Killed the Cat. Ooh! Rewatch Winter Soldier over the weekend, and oh my god, I forgot how great it is. An MCU masterpiece.
Yep.
Great characters, emotion, humor, story, action. So good.
It's brilliant. Listen, I know I may be in the minority on this. The Russo brothers' two best movies, to my opinion, are not Infinity War and Endgame. They are Winter Soldier and Civil War. I just think those two movies are just flat out superior to and I love Infinity War and Endgame. I'm not crap talking Infinity War and Endgame at all. But I just think those are the two better movies they did. They're just amazing. And whenever I go back to watch them, whether it's Winter Soldier or Civil War, I'm always like, damn, I forgot how great this is. Like every time. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Look, I love Winter Soldier, and every time, like the opening scene, just the banter between Black Widow and Cap before they
So good.
assault that ship. You know, are you gonna date so and so from the?
Did he just jump out of the plane?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
It's so good.
And George St. Pierre as Batroc.
Oh man, come on.
That fight that he has with Batroc is so good.
It's great.
All right, what's next?
From D. Wild, are the JLA not who Adam is fighting?
I think there are moments where you see him, and it's the JSA.
JSA.
I think there are moments of it, but then I think that's just one of those second act things that happens where we get to know each other. It's kind of like in the first Avengers movie when Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor first meet. Oh, they have this little tussle at first, and so I got a feeling it's one of those. All right, what's next?
From Mike's Movie Madness, how is Lucasfilm doing out the budgets for
I
these
think we already
we've done
had
this. Yep.
That was
the second part. Thank you.
Oh, that was the second part of the show.
Ahmed E. I'm so keen for the Sandman this
Oh my
week.
God, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Speaking of things that look cinematic, this looks cinematic.
I mean, and they're adapting the actual comics. It's my favorite comic series of all time.
And it's starting up. All right,
can't
what's
wait.
next?
From Curtis, Paws of Supreme, The Legend of Wong.
Pause of I don't get it. I'm sure there's a clever reference in there, but I don't get
Pause
it.
of Fury and then the Wong thing, right?
Really? How does that connect? Anyway, all right, what's next?
Peter Cunnington, on the weekend I lost my pizza cutter, so I used a Bryan Adams CD. It really cut like a knife, but it felt so right.
Oh.
Just like a knife. Yeah, a lot of people.
I'm not mad about it.
Funny story though. I mean, like Canadians take being Canadian very seriously.
What?
And we were watching. I think it was The Voice, and somebody who was the host of The Voice. It was one
Sharon
of
Osbourne.
no. Like who was the main the
Was
host?
it Ryan
The MC.
Seacrest?
Right, I think it was Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, I thought
right.
it was American Idol.
Who's the other one? There's Ryan Seacrest, and then there's the other one,
Hmm.
and who's like the Ryan.
I only
anyway,
watch AGT.
I'm gonna go with Ryan Seacrest for now, but
Okay.
it was somebody on The Voice.
Daly.
Carson Daly.
Carson
there we
Daly.
go.
Thank you. Yeah, they're just clones.
Ryan Seacrest and not Ryan Seacrest.
So Carson Daly, somebody sang Summer '69. And then before going to commercial, they go to Ryan Seacrest. All right, register your votes for so-and-so singing the great American rock classic Summer '69. And my blood boils. Like Canadians take Canadian shit very seriously. It's like, you motherfucker. That is a Canadian rock anthem. And I guess their stuff lit up. Their social media got flooded because when they came out of commercial, he started off with Carson Daly going, by the way, just had to correct myself. Summer '69 is, of course, a Canadian rock anthem, not American. It's like, you're damn right. Anyway, so that's just my throwback to my Bryan Adams thing. All right, what's next?
From Stubble McShave. Nice. Elvis broke even. Made $6 million domestic this weekend.
Did it break even?
I don't know.
I have a hard time believing it broke even, but if it did, that's awesome because it's a really good movie. It deserves to break even, but I have to go and look at the numbers. I'm not totally sure that's true. Hopefully it is. All right, what's next?
From Luis Enrique de la Pena. For the foodies in the crew. Yesterday I had carnitas tacos with mole sauce and pickled onions. Delicious.
Ooh, that sounds
Okay,
good.
what's that show that we were just talking about, the new Netflix one?
Oh, the street food one.
Okay, so Ann and I, totally not street food. It was late at night. We were both hungry. It's like, you want to go to Sonic? Never been to Sonic in my life.
Sonic America's Drive-In?
Yeah, so we pulled up, drive in, and so we had some time to kill. We were in the Tesla, so we got the Netflix on the car in the car. So we put that on, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I get YP. So if you're telling me that because you got inspired by that first episode, then I get it, because after watching that episode, I wanted to go down there and start eating that as well.
The ones they talk about for the LA episode too. Like Logan and I were mapping it all out and we were like, okay, we can do this. We can hit all of these in the same day.
Yeah. And then they talk about the Filipino food as well. So I got really excited about that. So, I mean, it's just, but that, yeah, I've never wanted to eat Mexican food more badly than watching that episode.
And that guy's story. I mean, his
about
relationship with
losing
his family and
sister and his dad.
his dad. Oh, it's so beautiful.
It was beautiful. Beautifully done. All right, what's next?
Andy, swap out the villain in the next Avengers with an airbender instead so you can call the movie Avengers, the Aang Dynasty.
I like it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
All right.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not terribly excited if Kang is the villain. I'm not excited about the Kang character. I would almost prefer an Aang I would like. There's the ultimate crossover that everybody's looking for.
Well, you know what the problem is? They still haven't established Kang yet.
Yes, so we'll see what
Nobody knows what he is.
Ant-Man's going to do that.
He Who Remains is not Kang. Not really.
All right, what's next?
From Christopher Baker, after Bullet Train comes out August 5th, there isn't a big movie coming out until mid-October if you want to count Halloween. If you don't, then Black Adam drops at the end of October. Is this odd?
It is odd. And, you know, actually, who was it? It might have been the Hollywood Reporter that did an article on how, like, studios are basically failing the movie theaters.
Yeah.
Because the movie theaters saved Hollywood by bringing in all the money that they have. And it's like, I mean, they point out, like, movies like Samaritan that are supposed to be theatrical, taking that out of theaters. I don't think Prey was ever supposed to be theatrical. I don't think so. I think it was always destined for Hulu because the last Predators movie was so badly received that they probably didn't feel they could make any money in theater. So I get that one, but it's like, hey, studios, like the theaters have really saved your ass. Maybe you should be giving them product to show. Anyway, they wrote a really good article about it. I think it was the Hollywood Reporter. It might have been one of the other trades that did it, but if you get a chance to read that, you should check it out. But yeah, we don't have a lot after Bullet Train. All right, what's next?
From Anubis Genocide, season 3 of Harley Quinn, I feel is off to a great start.
It is.
I love Bane, steals the show every time he shows up. He needs a web series.
He steals the show every time he shows up ever since season 1. He walks in. I gave you a poster maker for a wedding that never happened. There will be vengeance. I mean, I die every time he's on screen. I die. He's so funny. He's like one of the animated Bane in Harley Quinn is one of the best characters on TV. I'll just call it right now. So is Kite Man, by the way. and what is with Kite Man getting like the hottest female characters as his girlfriends? Because his new girlfriend is smoking. She's great. What they call her, Glider. Anyway, if you haven't got caught up in the new episodes of Harley Quinn, you got to watch it. It's so good. All right, what's
Wind
next?
takes them everywhere.
From Jesse Price, hey crew, Rob, how do you like episode 5 of Blackbird? And thank you for getting me into For All Mankind.
I loved episode 5 of Blackbird, but I'm feeling very tense about where it's going.
You said it's got one episode left, right?
One episode left, yeah.
That's another show I got to get up
And
on.
it's based on a true story, so.
Very excited about it. All right, what's next?
From KJ McCrew, The Flash is ending with season 9 and 13 episodes. My heart breaks. The Arrowverse is officially dead. Has it been?
Hasn't it already been dead for a while, though?
It had a hell of a run.
It did.
really
it did.
did.
And there's some really good things that happened in the Arrowverse.
And listen, I've said this before, but I will say it again. In as much as this Flash series has been on life support for a while, 5 years from now, when I look back on the Flash show, I will look back fondly. This is a show that I did not believe in. When they announced it, I thought this was a bad idea, blah, 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 blah. I thoroughly enjoyed this show for a number of years. And even though I ditched on it about a year and a half, 2 years ago, because it's just I can't watch it anymore. It's just unwatchable now. But the big bulk of that show, I thought they did a delightful show. I enjoyed tuning in every week. I thought the characters were endearing and delightful, and I liked the banter. I thought the stories were fun. And, you know, going back, of course, Arrow, the one that started it all, which the first couple seasons of Arrow, I still contend is some of the best superhero television we've ever had, the first couple of seasons. And then it kind of, the wheels fell off. But Arrow, Flash, Black Lightning, I mean, the Arrowverse had done some really, really good things. And it's time for it to be put to bed. It is time for it to be put to bed. But they did some great things along the way. All right, what's next?
From Harv's K, hey Rob, in Light and Magic episode 2, did you catch the rare Mecha Godzilla toy in the Death Star trench? Those original ILMers had good taste in toys.
I did not catch that, did you?
Oh, yes, I did. There's so much stuff there. My favorite might be Spaz Williams having a Halloween 2 one sheet in his office. But there's all kinds of crazy goodness in the background of that stuff because they would buy everything because they used it all.
I like it when they're talking about building the Death Star trench stuff. They got, they said, just 7 pieces. And they replicate several, and they just put them together in different orders so it all looked different. But it was the same 7 pieces, just arranged differently. I thought that was brilliant.
Amazing.
All right, what's next?
From Cliff Bridges, I'm calling it now, Wong is Kang. That's why he's everywhere getting at everyone for Secret Wars.
Okay, don't laugh. That's not the dumbest thing I've heard. That's not the dumbest thing I've heard. I mean, they're not going to do that. But if they did, That would come out of left field and catch a lot of people by surprise.
It would.
I mean, there's no chance though, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. But it would be fun. All right, what's next?
From Jin the Jedi. In a new interview, 50 Cent said that he was originally meant to play Terry Crews' role in the original Expendables when talking about his role in 4.
I'm not surprised to hear that. There was, around that time, there was a big push with 50 Cent in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And when you really think about it, I mean, physically, he could be that character. I mean, I'm glad they went with Terry Crews. He's the better actor and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that would have felt odd at all for him to pop in there, especially a film like that.
Wait. Is 50 Cent is in Thor?
What?
No, I thought.
No, she said in role in 4.
Oh,
In Thor,
oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Thor. Yes, we're on Thor. Wait a minute. 50 Cent was in Thor?
I was like,
Yeah.
what cameo was that I didn't
4
watch?
Robin Thunder.
All right. What's next?
From Connor Dorian. Hello, Rob. Just thought you should know that the third and final season of Lock and Key will release next week on August 10th.
I know, and I'm excited about that. I like Lock and Key. I'm a big Joe King fan, and
Didn't they cross over that world? Not in the TV show. Didn't they cross that world over with Sandman too at one point?
They might have. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they did.
They
like,
might
not
have.
in
I don't.
television yet.
If that was because I didn't read the new Sandman
Okay.
universe comic series that they put out a couple of years ago, which they very well could have.
All right. What's next?
From J Master, the Andor trailer looks dope and awesome. I'm really hyped for the series. I agree Andor doesn't look like a TV show. It looks like a movie with everything so cinematic.
Yeah.
And high quality.
So good.
And you're right. Like somebody brought it up earlier. It's like, how? Wait, I'm looking at like Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, and then I look at this. This is all coming from the same company at the same time era. Like it's again, maybe we're being fooled, and they just showed us the best shots in the trailer, and everything else is going to look like crap. But we'll see, man. We'll see. All right, what's next?
From Tyler V602. Guys, I think I watch your show too much. I had a dream last night. You all had a live musical episode of the John Campea Show. Much love, guys.
Were you paying off Ray's bills?
Are you paying Ray's bill?
I would do that if you wanted to do a musical episode. I think we
I
could
would
pull it
love
off.
to do a
I've got
musical
the guitar
episode.
over yonder. I think we pull out the guitar. We'll just do an entire musical episode.
Oh, man.
I think it'd be fun.
Sing about, Sylvester Stallone yelling at seagulls, and it'll be a lot. It could be a blast. All right, what's next?
From Isaiah, $20 super chat just to support us. Thank you so much, Isaiah.
Thank you
That's
so much,
nice.
Isaiah.
All
And
right.
guys, we've run out of time. That'll do it for this installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thanks to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the show. Thank you guys so much for your support. So, for everybody in the room, Robert Meyer Burnett, Chris Carr, Ray Ora, producer Jonathan Voico. Don't forget to come back and join us again tomorrow, guys. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.